All righty. Now, after a short Wi-Fi delay, not on my
Oh,
part somehow, because I've been the
yeah.
Wi-Fi king the last couple of days.
I,
Danny's chinsing his neighbor's
uh,
Wi-Fi because his own wasn't working, and that's why we're about 13 minutes late here. But
yeah.
we should have Danny the whole time. He hasn't lagged since he's been in the back seat here. But we're going to do the team reviews that we have first because we felt bad last week. We didn't get to some team reviews until Monday, and then there was some things that weren't relevant anymore. So we're going to get the team reviews first. Hopefully by like 11:15ish or so, we'll be on to start sit and trade questions. But we don't have as many as we do on Thursday, so we should be just fine. Danny, let's get it kicked off here. JJ Tota Ship here has his team review. J Dirty is the name of his team, and it's a 12-team start, 7 PPR. Has a couple of really good options up top: Devon Achane, Puka Nacua, Tucker Kraft, those type of dudes. And then just a pretty well-balanced team, a little weaker at the wide receiver position than you'd maybe want to be with, Josh Downs, your wide receiver 4, but this is a strong-looking squad.
Yeah, I mean, a very strongly built, again, redraft, 1 quarterback, 12-team start 7, so very shallow starting lineup. So when we're concocting a starting lineup here, we're looking at, Caleb Williams more than likely going to be the quarterback moving forward. If Brock Purdy starts looking good, maybe he's, expendable, but realistically in a 1 quarterback, 12-team league, he's nothing more than a tack on to a deal. If someone was desperate at quarterback and maybe offered a wide receiver plus Purdy, like that's the only way you're realistically trading Purdy, unless, you're going to know more than us. Maybe everybody in this league hoards 2 quarterbacks and one guy's desperate because he has to put Aaron Rodgers in his lineup. Like that's one thing.
Bryce is like the only good quarterback available on the waiver wire.
Fair.
So, maybe Purdy would have some value for sure. But yeah, like, he also he messaged me like a day after he submitted this, and he said a team is willing to send London for Hampton. So essentially, knowing that he just lucked into Trey Benson basically as a starting running back, would Hampton be expendable for London? Now, my thought process, as crazy as this sounds, it feels like a lateral move.
I would rather London straight up face value wise, but I don't want to be left in a situation where Isaiah Pacheco's touching my lineup anytime soon.
Yeah, you'd have Benson as your RB2, Pacheco your RB3, Corum and Spears for upside. I think in a start 7, it's not really going to make a difference to your lineup, because if this was a start 9, for example, and full PPR, you'd maybe want a little bit more receiver depth. But knowing that Achane, Hampton are going to be starters for you, Puka Nacua, Igbuka are going to be starters for you. Right now, your flex comes down to the 2 Cardinals between Benson and Marvin Harrison. So if you make this trade, all you're really doing is making yourself weaker at running back and making London and Puka automatic locks for you. And then every week you have one of Igbuka or Harrison on the bench. So for me, I actually think it's better to have the upgraded RB2 as opposed to having a better flex in that situation. So I think it would probably make sense to hold Hampton. If you were getting a significant tier up from Hampton, because I think if we redrafted today, both of these guys would be 2-3 turn picks, give or take. London and Hampton. I think it's just a lateral move, and it kind of makes your starting lineup maybe even slightly worse at RB2.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Ultimately here too, Omari and Hampton has a smash block going up against the Giants. Giants have been carved against gap runners all year. We saw what Javonte Williams did to them, for example. There's a real possibility we're getting 20 plus Hampton touches and 110 yards from scrimmage today. And if that happens, man, we could be talking about a guy that's on the ascension to maybe a mid-second round pick if we redrafted today.
Yeah, after a big game today, you might be talking about Achane, Bucky Irving, those guys in the same breath as Omari and Hampton. We're already pretty close to having that conversation now, I would argue, too. Especially if Hampton, looks really good. Like he looked really good last week against the Denver Broncos. So yeah, I would personally hold pat here. As far as like other moves that I would make, I think you're in a pretty good position with the guys that you're going to be rolling with. You have a nice tight end option. You have a nice quarterback option. Like you said, maybe Brock Purdy becomes expendable in a league where a lot of people are hoarding 2 quarterbacks. But generally speaking, you kind of just want to line your bench with upside, which I think you've done with Pacheco, Downs, Burden, Corum, Spears, those type of guys. There's nothing else I would really, suggest. Colston Loveland's also a good stash behind Tucker Kraft. Maybe he's expendable if when he gets back on the field, he is a producing tight end. I unfortunately dropped Colston Loveland this morning in my home league because I picked up Caleb Johnson thinking that there was a chance that he might become a breakout, waiver ad this week. I don't think anybody in my home league's really caring about Colston Loveland anyways, especially after this week. He's not going to play. So there's a good chance that I'll be able to just pick him up after the week.
Also, I guess we could mention this. I mean, just speaking of the matchup, you mentioned Caleb Johnson. I mean, it might just very well be Jefferson week. We've seen a force-fed mentality from Carson Wentz. He has, 9 targets already in the first half? Like,
Yeah.
if you drafted Jefferson in the mid-first, maybe this is the redeeming week you needed.
I talked about him as a buy low candidate. I figured
sure.
eventually it was going to break right for him because he's just too damn good for it not to. Also, I would like to congratulate all of you guys who have DK Metcalf and are starting DK Metcalf, because the reason he's going off right now is because the commissioner of my home league took DK Metcalf at the 303, and I talked bear shit during our vlog of my home league draft. And guess who's playing DK Metcalf this week? Me.
Oh,
so
you know what's the worst part about playing DK Metcalf is when you watch the big play happen and realize he didn't really even do much. It was just a coverage bust. Like DK Metcalf, 80-yard touchdowns. There's always a coverage bust.
Yeah, no.
And he's a Steelers fan, by the way, your friend.
Yeah, he literally just reached on a Pittsburgh Steeler, and of course I talk shit about it. And of course, the week that I play DK Metcalf, when he's been kind of mid for the whole season so far, he has an 80-yard touchdown. I knew that was going to happen, but thankfully I traded for Bijan Robinson this week. So
Mason, by the way, Mason messaged me. He's like, yeah, if you want to talk a deal, like I can offer you a running back plus for a receiver. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest, like my top 3 receivers, you don't have anybody I want to tear down like into. Like he's got T. Higgins and DK Metcalf as his 2 best wide receivers. I'm not tearing down from a Drake London.
Also, knowing Mason, he's going to be like, I'll give you Nick Chubb and fucking Stephon Diggs for Drake London right now.
Now you're saying like he's basically implying like Scatterblue plus Metcalf or something like that, but I'm like, I'm just not doing that. Like seriously,
yeah, it's just not.
I'm not giving up Drake London for that.
Exactly. So anything else on this team? I think this is, just a team in pretty good shape. There's not many moves I would necessarily suggest. Again, if it looks like a lot of people are hoarding 2 quarterbacks, so Purdy back on the field today, big game against Jacksonville, maybe use Purdy plus, somebody on your bench that can get you up to another running back piece, or maybe you can tier up from somebody that you have. Maybe Achane has a big week and you can go Purdy plus Achane for like a better running back potentially. Like generally speaking, you have a really good, well-built team.
Yeah, Purdy plus Achane can make sense if you can work up to. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to get up to like the Taylor, the Gibbs, the Bijan, maybe somebody like that. But
Barkley has another down week potentially.
Barkley could make sense. Probably you won't be able to attain McCaffrey as well. Barkley seems like the guy. Like if he struggles against Tampa Bay, somebody might view it. Hey, well, Devon Achane lateral move, and then I get a free quarterback. Like that could very well be
really bad again today. Somebody might be concerned with Bijan as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Sure. All right. Happen. So let's move on to Mr. President here. He said, hi, guys. Only 3-0 team in the league, but trying to do all I can to make sure I win. Thoughts on my team and where to improve? I think wide receiver is the most glaring need. So start 7-10 team league. You obviously want the hammers, and you have the best quarterback in fantasy per my rankings, at least. Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua. I have that combo in my home league now, so I feel very good about those 2 guys as well.
I will say real quick, in a redraft 10 team start 7, you love to see 3 green number 1s.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, your depth, quote unquote, like your guys behind them are not as strong as maybe they could be, but you also have 3 of the biggest hammers in fantasy football. So Kenneth Walker, Trevion Henderson, Worthy, McLaurin, Golden. There's plenty of upside for you to get better options behind the studs that you have.
And hear me out, by the way, dude. If we're talking specifically for this week, like, yes, the wide receivers as a whole are weak after Puka, but I mean, Xavier Worthy was a full-time participant, has a great matchup. Baltimore cannot cover. So we have Xavier Worthy potentially in a smash spot there. Matthew Golden is literally like my start of the week at wide receiver. I have him at wide receiver 27 this week. You have a banged-up Cowboys.
Out of curiosity?
Yes. I had Metcalf buried. It was a terrible matchup, and he hasn't crossed 40 yards since week 1. What do you mean? Why?
Yeah.
He got there in a coverage bust. Cool. Fuck me. But like,
I mean, he had 45 yards before that. In the first quarter.
I mean, no, it was an 80-yard touchdown.
He had 42 yards because I took his 40-plus yard prop in one of my parlays. So I know he had 42 yards before that play.
Fair enough. He had less than 40 for 2 straight weeks and got the Minnesota Vikings secondary. So I think the process was there for him to being a bad start. And if you did start him and you got lucky like Mason and Amir, then kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos. But with that being said, Matthew Golden, I mean, who's to say he can't score multiple 80-yard touchdowns on the Cowboys secondary?
He could. I don't know.
Hopefully it's not Tavian Wicks week.
You've been tooting the Matthew Golden horn all week, and I'm sensing 3 for 16. Like, I don't know why. I just don't think it's gonna work.
Hey, subconsciously too, it's like I have Tucker Kraft and Dontavian Wicks now in the flock league, so maybe not completely parading my own picks can do me well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But it would be funny if like Romeo Doubs had like 3 touchdowns.
I would hate
works out
myself
for you.
I would hate myself if that happened. No bullshit. But I mean, maybe Tootin makes up for it.
Yeah, I mean, to get back to Mr. President's team here, one thing that I would look to potentially do is
pick up Jawan Jennings, by the way. Pick up Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, pick up Jawan Jennings. He's a good option to go after. You could probably drop Isaiah Likely or Troy Franklin. I would imagine.
Give me Jennings. Give me Jennings over Ayuk even straight up if you don't have an IR.
Yeah, I'm assuming
I would take Jennings rest of the season.
I'm assuming he does because I don't think he'd be rostering Ayuk otherwise. But yeah, Kenneth Walker to me is a guy that I would maybe considering selling high on because he had a good week still and a decent week still, and he had 2 good weeks before that. I think you could maybe potentially, given that your team is really structured around these hammers, if you took Kenneth Walker and Matthew Golden off a big week or Xavier Worthy because of the shoulder kind of a re-injury concern off a big week, and you went up to like a better running back that you could pair with Bijan Robinson, like would you do Kenneth Walker plus Matthew Golden for James Cook if he gets pulled in the 3rd quarter because the Saints are getting blasted by the Bills?
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable offer. I mean, James Cook's got a ton of touchdown equity. I actually saw his pick him over on underdog. It was like a 0.78x for him to score a touchdown this week. Like the books are banking in that like, oh yeah, there's a very, very strong possibility. Like what would that be implied odds wise? 0.78 for it to pay
like
out
minus.
So that would mean like
probably
70% chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're looking like they give him like a 70% chance to score pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, finding a team like this where they have one guy that's like a stud and then maybe a little bit of lack of depth they might be concerned about, sending this guy like Kenneth Walker plus, Bill or something.
Xavier Worthy.
Walker plus Bill, and then maybe another swap in the deal. Like maybe you give him Worthy and he gives you Shakir or something, somebody that's a swap down, and you get Barkley off of him. Like that would make a ton of sense. If you're able to pair some of those studs together, like that's the goal. I'm not saying he'll actually accept that. I'm just saying doing deals where you're getting the best player in the deal when you have the best team in the league currently because you have those hammers is the best thing you can do, because people really overestimate having guys like Matthew Golden and Travis Hunter and this guy on their bench when you could reasonably, if you're starting Bijan, Barkley, Puka, and Lamar Jackson and Tucker Kraft every week, hell, you could pick up Darnell Mooney and Elikai Manor off the waiver wire for your flex for all I give a fuck. Like those guys are just going to be such big hammers for you.
Well, that's the thing. That's basically me in the flock league where it's like I have duds in my lineup, but guess what? For me to win, it's going to be because of my studs. It's going to be because
Roma Dunze, Drake. Out of curiosity, that are hurt.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a quarterback that just scored 29 last week. I got 2 top 10 wide receivers in my rankings this week. I got a top 3 tight end in my rankings this week. Like, you got to trust your hammers in this spot. And to me, like, yeah, you're going to have some duds, but realistically, the difference between a low end flex option that you can bank on for 8 to 10 points versus a bad flex option that can maybe give you 3 to 4 on a median projection. It's like, is that really going to cost you? Or is it more so going to cost you when Tyreek Hill puts up 48 points as opposed to your wide receiver 1 scoring 13? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, especially when you can.
Stud factor matters.
Yeah, especially when like you can find Trey Tuckers and Rashad Batemans and stuff that if you absolutely had to play those guys, you could. And like, who's to say Rashad Bateman doesn't have a better week than I'm trying to think, than Deebo Samuel,
Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, somebody who's Deebo, like an every week starter, quote unquote. Like the receivers, especially when you just throw a Troy Franklin or an Elikai Manor into your second flex, you're gonna get games where if you scout the matchup right, it almost takes the pressure off too. I don't know if you feel this way. Like if you trade away, let's say you do a 2-for-1, and now you have to start Troy Franklin in your flex because you did a 2-for-1 to get a stud. Okay, it's like now I have, Devon Achane in my starting lineup. And it's like, yeah, I can throw Troy Franklin into my flex. And like, now I'm not worried. Like, it feels less like the pressure's on as opposed to if you had Chris Olave before or something. Well,
exactly. Like, sure, you give up on the median range of outcome, but you keep a similar ceiling projection and you just get by far the best player in the deal. Like that I've always thought like that. I'm always a consolidation guy. Maybe that's why my bench looks so bad in the flock league is I kind of gave my, steady depth coming into the year, because ultimately when you think you can spot a league winner, you go and do anything you can to go and get them. When you have one of those guys that can have, a season named after them or a top 5 year in the range of outcomes, overpay and worry about depth after.
Yeah, like in my home league right now, do you know who my second flex is? Jerry Jeudy or Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
I feel fine with those guys. They're going to get targets. They're going to get, like before, my second flex was Trey Benson, but my RB2 was Kenneth Walker, and they just combined for 22 points. Like Bijan's now my RB1, and Hampton drops to my RB2. It's way better to have those, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Kirk type of guys in your flex than it is to not have a Bijan Robinson or not have a, Puka Nacua or whatever. So it's definitely, people underestimate how dominant having, like, if you go to the RotoViz screener that we do sometimes for before the season for the videos that we do, the win rate of having Bijan and Puka on the same team this year will be what? 70%? Sorry, not the win rate. The playoff rate will be like 90%. The win rate will be like 40, 50% if you just have those two players.
Think of it like this. Maybe a good flex you can bank on for what, 10 to 12 points, Corey?
Well, yeah, especially if you're a good fantasy player who can, know who to start and like pick up guys that you feel confident in.
And a bad flex you would consider as what, 5 to 7 point projection. Like there's the possibility that they scored like 2 and just completely burn you.
Yeah, they drop a dud or something in your lineup.
But there's also a possibility like a Tootin as a backup running back sneaks in a goal line carry. You know what I mean? Like, so I would say like tentatively speaking, a 5 to 7 would be like about what you would expect from a bad flex. Cool. So that's a 5 to 6 point discrepancy. Puka Nacua is averaging almost 25 PPR points per game this year. You know how many wide receivers are averaging over 19 right now?
0, probably.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like having Puka Nacua in that shit-stained flex is going to do you better in the long run than a legitimate top 5 wide receiver in a great flex.
Yeah, and that's assuming you are starting duds every week. Like, you're going to get games where you're like, I just threw Trey Tucker in my flex last week and he had fucking 3 touchdowns and 150 yards.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of football, especially like, volatile wide receivers. Like, for example, face value. Does it feel great that I'm starting Dontavian Wicks in the Flock League? Absolutely not. But is there the ceiling scenario that he actually catches 2 touchdowns because he plays 70% of the snaps?
I'm surprised you didn't pick up Tolbert instead, to be honest with you.
Part of it, I'm a little bit sketched out about what's going to be the split between him and Turpin.
Well, he's going to play a lot of 89% of the routes last week when Lamb left the game early.
More so saying on the usage. I think the routes are going to be there. I'm just more so saying he might just be pigeonholed as the X.
Okay. I would be like, if I were in your position, I would be worried about the usage in the routes for Wicks, because Wicks has not been like a consistent route participation guy.
He did play 70% last week, and the Cowboys are the biggest pass funnel in the league currently. So like that's the thesis.
But it's not. My thing with Wicks is that it's never consistent. His routes, like some weeks he'll play 30%, and some weeks he'll play like 80%, because they use Malik Heath and some of the other like 4th and 5th receivers sometimes.
So I was going through the options because obviously, like, it's not like I just picked up Dontavian Wicks without thought. Like, the reason why I went with Wicks is I'll tell you right now the options I was considering. I was considering Tolbert, I was considering Turpin, I was considering Sterling Shepard, and I was considering Brenton Strange. But ultimately here, they were close enough projections that I went with the matchup, and I actually went with the highest projection. When I went through and saw like the yardage projections across sports books, it was actually Dontavian Wicks that had a 42, and the rest of them were like in the low 30s or high 20s. So like that was part of it too. I trust the matchup, and I see that the projection is where it was at, and it kind of reaffirmed it for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, I mean, Mr. President, you asked like, where can I improve? If you can continue making moves and acquiring hammers, take Kenneth Walker plus Bill, take Kenneth Walker plus Matthew Golden, keep getting hammers, because it's doing you really well so far. Like you said, you're only 3-0 team in the league.
I would overpay to get a consolidation 2-for-1 deal done, because you get a free Juwan Jennings if you do it.
RJ Harvey is also on the waiver wire. Like RJ Harvey,
Drake May's available too. Like,
yeah, like this is the type of league where you absolutely just by any means necessary get the best player in the deal. Like by any means necessary. Xavier Worthy plus Kenneth Walker gets you 1 tier up. Like all you get is Devon Achane, who I would consider only a tier ahead of Kenneth Walker. It's like, well, you didn't just get Devon Achane, you also got RJ Harvey or Josh Downs or Juwan Jennings or Alec Ioman or whatever guy you want off the waiver wire. So yeah, keep collecting Infinity Stones, man. You got Bijan, Puka, Lamar Jackson, Tucker Kraft so far. Just keep going after the hammers, because it will do you a lot better. Like in the, 11 years or whatever I've been playing fantasy football, all of my worst trades, like in hindsight, were trades where I was tearing down. And most of my best trades were trades I was tearing up. Like my league winning trades, like in 2020 when I won my home league, I traded Antonio Gibson and Joe Mixon for Alvin Kamara. Well, Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns on Christmas and won me the league. And I also had, Adams and a couple other value over replacement guys that year.
So that's part of it for me. You've noticed since we've been playing in leagues together, I will never tear down, even in situations that maybe like a tear down would be in consideration. Like,
well, you could argue this week you could have maybe made a tear down move. You were starting Blake Corum at the beginning of the week. Now you're starting Dontavian Wicks. Some people might panic and be like, I should tear down so I have a better flex or something.
Yeah. And does it hurt obviously subbing in like Tootin, Wandale, and fucking who's the other one? Dontavian Wicks into the lineup? Sure. But even if they get me a collective 15 points, my kicker's off to a good start. My defense is a great matchup. Patriots at home against Carolina. And my studs are in good game environments. So realistically, me having a low floor of my worst players in my lineup isn't going to be what ends up impacting the lineup. What impacts the lineup is who ends up scoring more fantasy points, Brian Thomas Jr. or Drake London. Who ends up scoring more fantasy points, Roma Dunze, Tyreek Hill. Like that's ultimately what matters more in a matchup is how does the point distribution get split between the studs?
Yeah, when I was playing Nathan, for example, a big reason why I won that matchup is because Justin Jefferson and Derrick Henry combined for like 22 points or something like that. It's like if I get 22 points out of his 2 best players, like you're going to win that matchup 9 times out of 10.
100%. But
yeah, we could probably move on to the next one. I think President kind of knows what he's doing here. He's collected some Infinity Stones. Hopefully he keeps doing that. He put a pronunciation in the chat because I always fuck this up, and I'm going to just go find it quickly.
Anarcturus?
Let me find it. He had it right about. Damn it! Now I can't find it. Anyways,
also, we just had Natty Swifty Hawkinson sucks 3 messages in a row. What
I mean, Hawkinson does kind of suck, and I'm hoping for my sake that the Hawkinson sucks thing keeps going because Mason is clearly the person with the most running backs in our flock league, and I am clearly the person with the most tight end options to trade. So I would like to get something done with him. And he said Anarcturus. So basically Antarctica, but a little bit different. 10-team league. He said he's 2-1.
Is that what I said, by the way?
I think he said Anacturus. It's Anarcturus is what he's saying.
Yeah. I know I read I don't know if I said Anarcturus or Anarcturus, but I was close.
Anarcturus is what he's saying. And he also said, if you see this, my team review the Rooks, what do you think? Okay, so he also has a trade that he has on the table here. So he said he's 2-1, the Rooks right here. And then he said he went a little too hard on rookies with Henderson and Hunter underperforming. I'm looking to make a trade. I'm kicking myself for turning down Pickens for Henderson last week. I mean, I still think that that could age positively for you. Like, okay, being panicked on Hunter, that's reasonable because there's actual like there's less light at the end of the tunnel. Being panicked on Henderson, to me, like you should absolutely be holding. You shouldn't be concerned at all because I think as soon as this week or the next 2-3 weeks, we're going to see a lot better usage coming for Trevion Henderson. Hell, he played 87% of the snaps after the Gibson and Stevenson fumble last week and got the only running back touches 7 of the 14 plays he touched the football. So I wouldn't be worried about Henderson. Hunter, for now, you can't start him. He's got to be on your bench, and you kind of just have to wait and see.
Yeah, sorry. I was uploading my picks because we'll talk about them after because I actually do have the Trevion Henderson higher on his fantasy points. Great matchup, and he was getting more usage last week. Again, we'll go through all the picks after because we want to get the team reviews done first. But it is funny that you mentioned, you're potentially panicking on him because I do think this is the breakout week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So he also said, what do you think about Achane for Mason, Kittle, and Sutton? So he'd be, again, we just kind of had a whole diatribe about not taking tear downs. He'd be giving up Achane for, you have Tyler Warren. Like George Kittle, yes, he appeals to you, but like you have Tyler Warren. So like you're not really motivated to go get George Kittle. And Cortland Sutton, like, is he going to be a significant point upgrade over Chris Godwin, Matthew Golden, Travis Hunter, and Elikayo Manor types? No. Probably not. Like, and Jordan Mason's a clear downgrade, especially in the long term. In the short term, he's, not as much of a downgrade because he's getting all the work. But once Aaron Jones comes back, it's probably not going to be a huge thing for you. So I'm holding Devon Achane here. I know you want to make a move because you're, feeling like you missed on some players, but you got some guys that are buy lows. Hampton, Achane are going to be hammers for you. Neighbors, Smith, Golden, Godwin, Hunter. There's plenty of upside in that receiver core. Warren's a stud every week starter. And the 2 quarterbacks you feel great about.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. By the way, Daniel Jones being on the wire, like if you wanted to sell high on one of your quarterbacks, like Daniel Jones for free right now is kind of insane. But even if you just decided not to, it is funny because I'm in this dilemma in the flock league. I have Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, and it looks like your league is a little more active on the quarterbacks. Like you don't have Jordan Love, you don't have Dak Prescott, you don't have legit starting options at quarterback available on the wire like some of these psychopaths in the fucking flock league have. But I mean, it is what it is. Like if you know you can get trade value for the quarterback, it never hurts to inquire. Maybe not right now because Jaden Daniels isn't playing this week, but say he gets ruled back in practice, he's there, Wednesday or Thursday, limited capacity, full practice on
He's
Friday.
supposed to
Maybe
play,
at that point,
like next week.
yeah, like maybe you have the expendability to make a deal at that point. I will say though, the only thing that sucks is Caleb Williams is actually on bye next week, so maybe you are not able to make a deal.
Yeah, that would definitely hurt your situation. But if Caleb has another monster game this week, I would actually be more inclined with this team construction to sell Caleb as opposed to Jaden Daniels because Jaden Daniels hasn't really, reached his full potential yet this year. But it also wouldn't shock me like one bit if Caleb Williams just straight up is the better quarterback to have rest of season than Jaden Daniels. Like it wouldn't shock me at all because they're in the same tier for me. I view them kind of as more mid QB ones. Like I personally think that you cannot buy Jaden Daniels right now with the assumption that he's going to be anywhere close to as good as Allen and Jackson. And that was the assumption coming into the year that he could be as good as those guys. And I don't think that's the case anymore. I don't think it's within the range of outcome.
So in terms of like 27 points per game, like what Jackson's given you and what potentially Allen can give you, no. But can he get back to 23 plus points per game? I definitely think so because ultimately we saw what the offense looked like when it was dependent upon him. We do need Terry McLaurin healthy. We do need Jaden Daniels healthy. But I don't know, man. I'm just not taking much away. Like realistically, yeah, the Giants game specifically, maybe you wanted a couple more scoring, but we saw the rushing. We saw the efficiency. He just didn't get there in terms of the overall passing yardage. But maybe that's, a couple moving parts. Deebo Samuel first game. Terry McLaurin not really doing much on the outside, getting acclimated. And Terry McLaurin on top of that, missing the entirety of camp with the contract extension stuff. Like I'm not taking much away from those first few games personally.
Yeah, I just think if you're riding the wave of the player in the season that he's about to have and stuff, are you feeling like Jaden Daniels is going to have a magic carpet ride 23 point per game season? Or are you feeling more like, yeah, maybe this is a bit of a down season relative to what he did as a rookie? And I think he's trending towards maybe this is a bit more of a down season relative to what he did as a rookie as Danny dies off camera coughing his guts out. But yeah.
That fucking hurt.
Yeah. No, to me, anyways, the rest of the team, I wouldn't do anything, to be honest with you. I don't think there's any moves that really stick out to me right now because Neighbors and Smitty are good holds right now. Tyler Warren, a great hold.
You're not getting anything
a good hold. Like maybe if you get a big week out of Golden and Godwin, looks great and he's back and stuff, you feel like you have an every week starter potentially going forward. Maybe you could sell high on somebody, but like Golden's a rookie receiver. Hunter's a rookie receiver. Alec Manor's a rookie receiver. Like, there's not much that stands out to me here. Like Pacheco's a hold, Diggs is a hold right now. There's not much else you can do.
Yeah, I mean, if you do make a consolidation move, maybe you pick up a guy like Darnell Mooney, Troy Franklin, or Josh Downs. But like realistically, I'm just standing pat. I think you have a guy like Malik Neighbors, for example, bounce back from him this week. Tough matchup against the Chargers, but you do have potentially Jackson Dart adding some fireworks to the offense. Like you said with the running backs here, Hampton. It's poised for a big week. I mean, Giants cannot guard against gap runners, like I mentioned earlier. And Omari Hampton just handled the ball, 26 opportunities last week. So having that type of hammer in your lineup, like where do you have Hampton ranked this week?
Hampton is ranked. I think my RB9, I think I had him in my running back video.
Yeah, I like that.
RB10, RB10, just behind Derrick Henry at RB10.
So he was 11 for me, and the more I'm looking at it right now, I think I'm going to move him up at least into the tier. So my tier coming in was Cook, Achane, Henry, Jacobs, Irving from 6 through 10. I actually put Omari Hampton in the middle of that tier because the more I look at the matchup, the more I think Omari Hampton is going to have his breakout.
Well, yeah, because last week before Pacheco shit down his leg, I said coming into that game that the Giants were like bottom 3, bottom 5 in the NFL in DVOA versus running backs, EPA allowed, success rate, fantasy points against, run defense grade, like literally every metric you could point to. And then they boosted their numbers to like below average now because Pacheco and Kareem Hunt are terrible. And they got smoked by the Commanders running backs in week 1. And then Javonte Williams carved him up in week 2. Like Omari Hampton has, I think the 60-yard rushing touchdown, like breakaway play is coming this week against the Giants.
I would agree as well. I'm also going to add to that. So with Omari Hampton and the Giants specifically in this matchup, even despite that, last week, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco on the other end, they are still on the season the 4th worst defense in EPA per play against the run.
Yeah. And they played the worst rushing offense in the league last week.
Yeah.
Like easily the worst rushing offense in the league. So,
did you see the report for Godwin? He will start.
Yeah, he's going to play most of the snaps. I saw that. I saw Greg Allman and Rick Stroud allude to that yesterday. And then, yeah, it came out as a report today. They were patient with him, dude. Think about it. Chris Godwin got injured almost a calendar year ago. It was week 6 against the Ravens. So he's got to be recovered from this injury at this point. This is like 11 and a half months of recovery for him. And this is the same guy who came back 8 months after a multi-ligament ACL tear, where the same injury that Brandon Ayuk has is basically going to be at least a calendar year from after when he suffered it. So yeah, Godwin's a beast, man. I have no doubt in my mind he's going to be back. Whenever he was going to be back on the field was going to be, yeah, I'm not coming back until I'm 100% here. And Philly is going to be a tough matchup for us, and we need him. Because without Evans out there, like Igbuka is a rookie still. Like he's going to have a tough time with all the attention without Evans out there. Because a big part of what made Igbuka great in the first couple of games, I watched Josh Capel and John Ledyard and some of the people that cover the Bucs showcase really how much Evans was getting doubled this year. Like I've never seen Evans get that much attention before. He always gets attention, but not like this. Like they were throwing number 1 corners on him and shading over the top.
Yeah, I mean, he's really improved in terms of as a separator. I noticed that specifically because he was targeting him, 7, 8, 9 times a game, but he just wasn't really getting over the top in the yardage. But I mean, as you said, that just has to go with the attention. I am curious how
anytime he's one-on-one in our offense, like literally anytime. Like there was the touchdown he scored against I can't remember what corner it was, but like he was one-on-one top of the screen, and literally I was in Discord with my buddies. I'm like, Evans touchdown guaranteed. He's one-on-one. Guaranteed touchdown. And then he just crossed his face and scored. I'm like, Evans in the red zone, especially one-on-one, he will get the ball every single fucking time.
Yeah, he's a cheat code.
Like Baker also, just knows to check to Mike Evans fade or slant or whatever he's got to check to. It's like if Evans is one-on-one, he gets the football. It's just it's how it works because he's never one-on-one.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I mean, overall, Isaiah Pacheco, even if you get any signs of life, you could sell him. If not, you're probably on the verge of dropping.
You just got to hold him at this point, honestly.
I mean, I don't even know if you have to hold him, to be honest.
Oh, you're saying you drop him?
I'm saying like he's like, if I have to drop him for somebody, he would be the first guy I drop on this team.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. If you had to, like, if Tracy got some positive news or something and you wanted to pick up Tracy because he's on the wire here, you could go pick him up. Or if Bucky got banged up and you wanted to pick up Rachaad White or something instead, I think that's totally fine. But yeah, it's a really good team, man. Like you're in really good shape. I wouldn't panic here. You're kind of talking about making moves and stuff. I think a lot of your players are either buy lows, holds, or just see what happens kind of guys. So I would feel very confident that you have a strongly built team, even in a 10-teamer there. But if you want to make some consolidation moves, again, get a big game out of Golden, take Smith plus Golden, go get a better receiver. Maybe you buy low on London or, Nico or something like that, by all means. But for the most part, you're in really good shape. Moving into BBP's team here. We have shout out to his team name. Jesus.
I didn't see it. What is it?
I thought it said prick for a second. I thought it said big black prick for a second, but big black pick is what he's got. Anyways.
Drop Romeo Dubs for RJ Harvey right now.
Yes. Yeah. Go pick up RJ Harvey, especially given the
Dalton Schultz and Jonnu Smith. Dalton Schultz, Jonnu Smith. It's a redraft 1 quarterback, and you have 3 quarterbacks with Lamar Jackson. Like, you got to reshape this roster, brother. Jared Goff, Jackson Dart, Jonnu Smith, Dalton Schultz, Romeo Dubs off my team. RJ Harvey absolutely on it.
Tyrone Tracy, definitely on it.
Tyrone Tracy.
Even Caleb Johnson or Dylan Sampson, if you wanted to roster one of those guys. Yeah, Dalton Schultz and Jonnu Smith. Like, Dalton Kincaid isn't like exceptional, but I actually think he is borderline every week starter territory, especially if we see another good game from him. He's a tight end 6 in fantasy right now, and he plays for one of the best offenses in the league. So if you have Lamar Jackson, you never need a second quarterback ever. And if you're like, oh, okay, well, like I want one for my bye week, dude, Justin Fields is on the wire right now. Bryce Young is on the wire. Michael Penix is on the wire. Like, don't worry about it. Lamar Jackson's bye week is until week 9. That's a week 9 problem that you have to solve. So yeah, go pick up RJ Harvey, go pick up Tyrone Tracy, Dylan Sampson, and Jaden Higgins, and drop Jonnu Smith, Dalton Schultz, Jared Goff, and Jackson Dart, because those guys are not needing to be rostered, especially in a 12-team start 7. Like, you have Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in fantasy football right now and probably going forward. And knowing that you have CeeDee Lamb out for a little bit, you kind of need the depth a little too, because Flowers, BTJ is not really performing. Brandon Ayuk, I'm assuming, is, on your IR or whatever. So yeah, definitely make some maneuvers here and shed those quarterbacks and those tight ends. But the rest of the roster, let me just see here. He said, I hope I luck into 1 or 2 wins before Lamb and Kittle are back into my lineup. So he also has Kittle as well. So Dalton Kincaid, like, you don't even need him. I mean, he's going to be your starter, but he needs to be your only tight end that you roster going forward. And he said, but I'm bored. Kittle? What's up?
He must have traded Kittle.
Maybe. I don't know, because I don't see him on the team.
He traded him for Benson.
Okay. Benson owner asked for Kittle. I mean, if Kincaid produces like he continues to, then I think that'll age well for you. And Kittle's not going to be back until I think at least week 6 is his first game that he's eligible to come back. So I think that's a fine move. Trey Benson is going to get the touches. I know he didn't really have a great game on Thursday, but I feel confident that he's going to probably be a buy low for me on Wednesday's trade target video, just because I think that was a game script thing for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you should be able to get by without Lamb for the time being. Like, Lamar's going to do his thing. Zay Flowers, obviously, the stack that you got. I like BTJ to bounce back this week as well.
Yeah. So I was curious for you, because initially when I went into the week with my wide receiver rankings, I had him closer to like the 21, 22 range. But the more I looked at it, I'm like, dude, like, he's got to be at worst in the top 16. This is just too much volume, and he's too talented of a player for him to keep playing this bad. Ultimately here, it's not like he's just getting 3 targets per game. Like, you're still getting 8, 9, 12 targets.
He's wide receiver 9 in expected points per game right now.
Yeah, so I have him at 16 because I bake in, tougher matchup. He's not playing well, but I mean, I'm gearing back on the side of, like, if somebody's ready to just completely discard him off their roster, go and buy. Go.
I bet you there are people ready to do that. Yeah. Like, the people will trade you Brian Thomas Jr. for Ricky Pearsall or Deebo Samuel. I guarantee you can get that done.
I mean, apparently Ricky Pearsall can get you CeeDee Lamb. So, like, yeah, I mean, Ricky Pearsall is apparently a hot commodity.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, that's an inside joke, by the way.
Yes, that is an inside joke. But the rest of the roster, I think, is in really good shape. All you really need, like, the only actual recommendations, I'm like, okay, get these fucking backup quarterbacks and tight ends off your roster. Go pick up Harvey, go pick up Tracy, Sampson, and Higgins, of the guys that I can see here. Who knows? Maybe there's guys even deeper down that I can't see. But based on the highest ranked players that we have there, that's who I would go pick up. And I'm not really in the rush to make any moves, because I think Flowers, BTJ, Bucky, Trey Benson, Kincaid, and these guys can get you by until CeeDee Lamb comes back on the field. And once CeeDee Lamb is back, you're going to be in one of the best positions of any team in your league, because you have some stud receivers. You're going to have a lot more bench upside at running back after you make some of those moves. Like, once you get Harvey and Tracy on your bench, you're going to have one of the better running back cores in your league, if I had to guess here. So this is a well-constructed team bones wise, but the roster construction needs a little bit of work. You do not need to hold any backup tight ends or quarterbacks, even behind Kincaid. Like, I don't need to hold a backup tight end, to be honest with you, because it's not like there's one that's exceptional that's available. Like, if Kyle Pitts was on your waiver wire and you're like, okay, I'm going to play matchups between Kincaid and Pitts, then that would be fine. But Jonnu and Dalton Schultz are just non-factors for a start-sit decision between Dalton Kincaid and those two guys for me. So yeah, drop those tight ends, drop those quarterbacks, and we could probably move on. There's not really any trades that stick out to me right now, because I think Flowers is kind of a hold, BTJ a hold, Ayuk a hold, like Bucky Irving's actually even probably a buy low right now, and same with Trey Benson. So you're in a position where you're kind of just holding your players at this point. And I do think you're 2-1. You're hoping that you get off, 2 wins or a win or two while CeeDee Lamb is out. And then once he comes back, you'll be at full strength, ready to go. So yeah, good team. Don't panic and do anything crazy. Bones 10-10 here. We got, I think, 2 more reviews, and then we'll be into the start, sit, and trade questions. Yeah, we got 2 more reviews after this one. So we got to fire through here and stay on topic. Trifecta has this redraft 1 quarterback, 10 teams start 7. Amari Hampton, Ashton Genty, Judkins. So all rookie running back core there. Nico Collins, Emeka Egbuka, DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy, QJ, Tyler Warren.
A lot of depth.
Yeah, lots of depth. This is definitely the type of team I would be looking to consolidate with. And a perfect example of that is Metcalf after this week will be a sell high probably.
Go up to the top when he submitted. He actually mentioned he had some consolidation. I feel good. I've got a ton of assets I should consolidate to move up. Okay, so that's exactly what he said. I'm not sure if I have the record to swing for Rice or Lamb, but I feel like I need to get another elite wide receiver. Already traded Jacobs for Nico. First of all, Jacobs for Nico, great deal. Buy low on Nico. Jacobs name cachet attached to an offense that people like right now. He's still not going to catch passes, and he simply just doesn't look efficient. I think part of it is the Packers' run blocking just hasn't been as good as last year, and Jacobs isn't that type of elusive back like behind the line of scrimmage. Like, let's just say, I don't know, Christian McCaffrey would be, or
he's the type of back that if you dropped him in the Eagles,
you got to give him a runway,
win people leagues, but you kind of need a good line and a good scheme and whatnot.
You got to give him a runway, and the Packers just aren't getting much push. So the fact that you can trade him for Nico right now, I love that. In terms of swinging for another elite wide receiver, you're 1 and 2, but if we take the look, I guess
let's find a shit team. Let's find an 0-3 team or something.
Well, because he mentions Lamb or Rice. I guess my question to you for Lamb or Rice, what's the cost? Like, if you can get Rashid Rice for Stugatz, yeah, you go and get Rashid Rice for
If you can get Rashid Rice after this week for DK Metcalf, who just had a 30-point game or whatever, you could definitely make that move. And
question.
Go ahead.
This team, would you give up DK Metcalf plus QJ for him?
No.
Rashid?
No, he's 1 and 2. He's 1 and 2, so I wouldn't do it. If he was 3-0, yes.
So the reason why I would, because first of all, you're getting the DK Metcalf points right this week, because I'm assuming he's in your lineup. So yeah, I'm assuming the 1 and 2 is not going to matter as much
this week.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think the 1 and 2 is going to matter that much. And B, like Chris Godwin, he's playing full snaps this week. He should be perfectly fine by next week. So I think personally, if I'm doing my wide receiver rankings,
too, you'd like good chance he didn't start Metcalf. Like he probably started QJ because given how he's produced.
So because of that, like if you have the option of moving DK Metcalf plus QJ for me, you get Rashid Rice. Yeah, sure, you got to go without a couple of weeks of wide receiver depth. But if you had to sub in Xavier Worthy or Chris Godwin or Jerry Jeudy for the time being, or hell, you would have the affordability. Maybe you pick up an Elikai Manor. He scored in the last 2 weeks. Maybe your Romeo Dubs is a full-time player again this week. Maybe Christian Kirk, for example. You have Nico, but he played 68% of the snaps last week. Maybe he gets an uptick this week. Like there's just so many players like on the wire specifically too, where if you have to give up 2 players and wait on Rashid Rice, I think you could patchwork the wide receiver depth here.
Well, dude, like his lineup right now is probably Hampton, Genty, Collins, Igbuka, and Judkins in his flex. That means Metcalf, Worthy, Johnson, Godwin, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Ward, and Cam Scadaboo are depth for him. He could reasonably. It's not that I don't think trading for Rashid Rice is necessarily bad. I just would rather trade for somebody that can help him immediately. That's also a tier up. Like if you could trade for DK Metcalf for Quentin Johnson, I just think you could get somebody better than Rashid Rice, who's going to help you now. Like I think you could probably get to Drake London with that, and Drake London can find your lineup now.
Maybe the only reason why I mentioned that is I trust this team in the long term to be able to turn around a 1 and 2 record. I think, especially if you started Metcalf this week, you should be able to win. If I'm viewing it like that, and Rashid Rice maybe costs 70% on the dollar right now, based off where I think he's going to end up being come week 7, week 8.
He's also on an 0-3 team as well.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, to me, Rashid Rice is just unanimously one of the best buys on the market right now. Because the moment he comes back, he's going to be a wide receiver 1, and you could probably get him for, wide receiver 22 price tags on the market?
Yeah, he also mentioned Lamb, too. Like, I'd be fine making that move. Sense. I would actually prefer to make the move for Lamb because I know Lamb is better, and also he's probably out less time than Rashid Rice, who's not back until week 7. So, if you could trade Metcalf and Quentin Johnston and throw him Jalen Warren just for shits and gigs for CeeDee Lamb, like, dude, it's a start 7, 10-team league. Like, there is absolutely no consequence for having no depth on your roster. And you lucked into Scadaboo, who's going to be great depth for you. Jeudy and Godwin are never, ever going to find your lineup right now. So there's no reason not to trade some of these Metcalf, QJ type of guys and tier up for a guy who is going to be an every week starter for you. Same goes for Genty, too. You get a big game out of Genty. Like, I'm a little worried about that situation. You could trade Genty plus Xavier Worthy or something for a better, more, solidified running back and a better offense.
Hey, prime 2K12 Chris move. Let's hit him with a splash.
Yeah, hit him with a splash indeed. So did not start DK, he said, trying to decide my flex play as we speak. Okay, so if he didn't start DK, who would you actually start in the flex here? Between Judkins, Worthy, Johnston. He's got only one. He's only got one flex spot to start 7.
I'm going QJ until he proves that he's not going to play as well as he has been. Like, the guy's gotten 70 plus yards and a touchdown basically every game.
Yeah, no, you probably got to start QJ. I agree. Worthy's a little bit of a, okay, maybe he re-aggravates it and leaves a donut in your lineup kind of thing, risk. So I wouldn't do that. And Judkins has a bad matchup. So yeah, I think QJ makes the most sense of the options to start there. But yeah, bottom line is, Dylan, all you have to do is make fucking tier ups. In this type of league format, there is zero consequence for having Godwin and Jerry Jeudy as your wide receiver 4 and 5. And they're your like 6 and 7 right now, because they are never going to find your lineup. And Godwin too, like there's a lot of upside with Chris Godwin. If he starts playing like he played last year, only Jamar Chase outscored this dude in PPR while he was healthy. So moving off of Metcalf, perfect sell high opportunity, 30-point game, busted coverage, easy opportunity to take him plus QJ plus somebody else and go get a stud.
Spoiler alert, DK Metcalf will be on the sells portion of this week's video.
Yes,
let's just
100%,
say that.
100%. So yeah, and like here's the other thing too. You could make a 3-for-1. Let's say you trade DK Metcalf, QJ, and Jalen Warren, and it gets you I'm trying to think who would be like, gets you Jackson Smith and Jigba, who had kind of a down game or something like that. Just go pick up Brandon Ayuk and stash him at the end of your bench. Go pick up Io Manor or Josh Downs and stash him at the end of your bench. Like it's so easy to replenish depth in this format.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, overall, though, you're clearly in a good spot. You're top 3 in valuation in your league. Yeah, keep on going. And I already know where Spicy Taco's leaning in the chat. Spicy Taco, every time I see in the chat, it's something negative on me. So let me guess. Danny, you have a question. Is Travis Hunter a great pick in fantasy right now? He's going to see something like that. Watch.
Yeah, I don't know why you give him attention here. That's the funny part to me. But anyways, let's move.
We got some haters sometimes.
We got to keep rolling here. Let's get into Peanut Gallery. This is a dynasty question here. 2 quarterback, 12 team start, 9 PPR. Bush Bucks fan to Bucks fan. I need help. I've never seen Bucks spelt like that. Hopefully you don't think I'm a Buckeyes fan. I had a crazy easy schedule and I feel like I could be a fraud. Also look at the top team and tell me how I compete. I have no idea how I can compete with that. So this is the top team, which is an absolute fucking horse. And he obviously has a monster to compete with. And I mean, whether you're a fraud or not, because we're going to look at your team here. Unnamed team number A. I don't think you're a fraud because you have Christian McCaffrey and Puka Nacua. And from a redraft frame of mind, those are 2 of the best 5 players in fantasy right now. So realistically, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua doesn't make you a fraud as a dynasty contender. Like those 2 guys are they're so high value over replacement production type of pieces. So I think you can compete with that guy. I know his team is like absolutely monstrous, but anything can happen once you get to the playoffs. All that matters here is that you're a top 3 to 4 production value team. If there's one monster, I'm never just going to be like, oh, I'm never going to compete with this guy, so I'm never going to try and compete. It's like, as long as you're at least the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th best team, you can try and compete with one monster.
Yeah. And I guess if we look at, let's look at the bars real quick. I am curious, like what his bar looks like. Okay, so it is a
fixed, but he also has McCaffrey, who's more of like a redraft asset. I mean. So
Hubbard as well, more of a redraft asset. I mean, you're looking for, you do have a couple picks if you needed to, but realistically, this is more of a wait and see. You're 3-0, you're scoring points, man. Just keep going. Like honestly, it sucks that you lost Joe Burrow, but Love and Stafford, or maybe Browning has better days, should be able to get you by for now. Like I'm not panicking at all. Like yes, there's a monster, but realistically, you have enough point equity to at least contend with him.
Yeah, if you were 0-3 right now or 1-2, I would say, hey, yeah, maybe you want to sell on Stafford, maybe you want to sell on Evans or whatever once he gets back, McCaffrey, once you can get some options for them. But because you have a good record, you're probably going to be in the dance most likely, and you're going to have a chance to take him down. It's just, when you look at the weekly projection, like let's say you go up against this guy, he's coming off a bye, you're the 4 seed or the 5 seed or the 6 seed or something, and he's coming off a bye. It's like, it only takes 1 week. Bijan has a down week. Gibbs has a down week, whatever the case is. So yeah, I know what you look at it and you go, I can't compete with that guy. But this is a team that's kind of permanently in win now mode because you have Christian McCaffrey, because you have Matthew Stafford, because you have Mike Evans, and because you're 3-0, it does make sense to see that through. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say push your chips in further, sell your 1st round picks and that kind of thing. But if there is an opportunity to buy an asset that would fit both a rebuild and a contending window, like let's say, for example, now that you're kind of shorthanded at wide receiver, Garrett Wilson becomes available for a 1st and a 2nd. And you're able to go pick up Garrett Wilson to help improve your winning chances, but he also fits both a contending and a rebuilding window. Those are the types of ads I would make. I wouldn't necessarily shove my chips into the middle, trade a 1st round pick for Josh Jacobs necessarily. Like I would probably be looking to make moves for players that can fit either window if I make any moves at all.
Yeah, no, exactly. If you can make that, realistically though, I mean, you're in a good spot. Having a guy like Puka Nacua, for example, where you ended up having him valued going into the year versus now you have him at wide receiver 2. I think for me, like if I'm drafting in a dynasty startup right now, he's going to be the first wide receiver off the board.
Yeah, I mean, I still am holding out that Chase is the wide receiver 1 for
Oh,
me
I thought
in
you
my
had
rankings.
Neighbors over him.
No, I
I
have
thought you would
Neighbors
have
at
Neighbors.
3. I have Neighbors at
Oh,
3.
okay, yeah. So obviously, I've been reworking the dynasty rankings. You take into consideration maybe Jefferson doesn't have the big ceiling year. A guy like Amon St. Brown maybe works into this area. Like, I'm curious what you think about the like to me, the top 6 or so wide receivers are pretty clear, and then after that, we kind of have I would guess some projection.
Yeah, I have a tier of Chase, Nakua, and Neighbors in my top 3, and then I have Jefferson, Lamb, St. Brown as a tier of their own as my my 4 through 6, and then JSN, Drake London is my 7 and 8 in a tier of their own, and then I have a large tier of like the T Max, the Romo Dunzes, the BTJs, the Egbukas, the Nico Collins, those type of guys. There's a large tier of receivers from 9 all the way through 18 for me. Like it's a big tier because I think all of them are like, you can make the argument that any one of these guys is near the top of this tier. Like I would hear arguments for somebody to say that Rashee Rice is their wide receiver 9 in Dynasty, even though he's at like the end of this tier for me. So I think there's a large majority of players that you could kind of talk about interchangeably there. So that's kind of how I look at the wide receiver position, at least.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. But overall, I think we're pretty good here.
Yeah, there's not much else I would really suggest. If you wanted to make a tight end upgrade, I think that would make sense. Like if you could take TJ Hawkinson, like TJ Hawkinson just isn't playing well right now. Like if you wanted to go after a Jawan Johnson using like your 2027 second just to get like some better tight end production, you could do it. Or you could go after somebody like, I mean, I actually really like that you have Gadsden as your second tight end, because I think it's possible that Gadsden ends up being a starter for you over Hawkinson at some point during the season because he looked really good in his debut game. But yeah, other than tight end, I don't think there's much else I would try and upgrade because like you said, it's possible that you could maybe sell on Burrow. Like if there's a rebuilding team that wants to buy Burrow for a similarly tiered quarterback, like if you could get Justin Herbert for Joe Burrow in a second right now, you maybe want to do that because Herbert's going to give you that high end production and Joe Burrow's injured and you can't use him and you're a competitive team right now.
Yeah, no, I think that would make
sense. Maybe that person would want Browning as well or something because you can give them the quarterback, the backup quarterback as well.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. I mean, realistically though, there's not much like pressing, like you said. I would just kind of be in wait and see approach right here.
Yep, for sure. Okay, last review that we're going to get to is from AppropriatePine, which I believe was submitted. Let me just sort by team reviews, and then we can get into the start sets and the other stuff. And apologies for those of you guys that have been waiting at the moment. But yeah, we'll get into this last team review, and then we will get into all of the start sets and trades. And come on, nobody's doing that deal. It doesn't necessarily have to be Herbert. It could be like Drake May or something. Somebody similarly tiered, maybe Bo Nix for Joe Burrow would make sense for a team in that situation. I personally wouldn't sell Burrow for Nix, but maybe you could get Nix plus another competitive, maybe Nix and Jawan Johnson for Joe Burrow from a rebuilding team or something.
Is Gainwell about to score his second touchdown?
That would irritate me because I could have picked him up this morning in the Flock League and started him.
I didn't wake up in time, but like
I did. I had my finger on the trigger, but I would have to drop 2 players because remember I'm 1 player over the roster limit right now.
Also, yeah, Arthur, I'm probably like 10 seconds behind you then. Big pain.
That's
he's about to score on this play, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Motion Darnell Washington. He just scored a touchdown. Awesome. If you're listening to this, Badaki, my answer is still fucking no. If you're gonna offer him for Jaden fucking Daniels in my inbox again, get the fuck out of here. I woke up in the morning. I got a tag on Sleeper, and I got Badaki sending me Jaden Daniels for Kenny Gainwell in the inbox. You can't be serious. After he makes clips saying that people only lowball him, he sends that to me.
Yeah, sorry. AppropriatePine sent in a message that his card got overcharged and shit. So I'm not sure. Let's do this review for him, and then we'll just refund his. He said he got overcharged twice for it. So whatever. Even if it if we end up refunding him completely, I don't care if we do this review anyways. But let's roll through it. If you're listening to this AppropriatePine, we'll get that straightened out for you. Go to site issues in the Discord, and the devs can probably get it straightened out because that's not really our jurisdiction. The devs handle that stuff, and now Sammy handles that stuff. But yeah,
it's crazy he's not unemployed anymore.
Yeah, I know. We'll do this for you anyways, even if it ends up getting refunded. So he's got his team. He said, I want to know where I can sell my player and for what value. First year dynasty, first year playing super flex, got a bit sped up in the draft, but trying to salvage for the future, not win now. So he's looking to tear it down and sell off some of his pieces here. So looking at his team, I mean, you got a nice shell of a team that actually probably could compete. You said you're 4-2 right now, so I guess you got a league median in your league. But if you are trying to tear it down, I will say it's not necessarily 100% necessary that you do, because you have a couple of pieces that you hit on. Puka Nacua, obviously, Xavier Worthy coming back with injury, Derrick Henry. But if you're looking to tear it down, you're probably going to want a first-round pick for Derrick Henry because of the production that he gives somebody. You should be able to get a first-round pick on the open market. I think Michael Pittman and Tyreek Hill are good sell highs right about now in Dynasty as well. Yeah. Just sell them for future capital. Like if you're looking to tear it down, you're looking to rebuild, aim for 2027 first-round capital if you can. Try and monopolize that class. You got a lot of great prospects coming out.
Jared Goff types, Justin Fields types. Realistically, you have a lot of like pieces that you can sell off. Tyreek Hill, if he has a big game, I think would make sense. Michael Pittman's on a big healthy. Michael Pittman's on a big sell high right now. Like realistically, I mean, even still, like right now with Jaden Daniels playing bad, or I mean, even Caleb Williams for that matter. Like if somebody's willing to offer you a significant plus on one of those young quarterbacks for Lamar Jackson, you can retool around them. Maybe you pick up a first-round pick or something like that. And then at that point, you could really retool the squad around a young quarterback in Tyler Warren and kind of pick your parts around them. I mean, same thing. Puka Nacua has been awesome, but can you move down to a younger wide receiver and get pick insulation? Because people are going to see the 25 points per game. And although I would say he would be the wide receiver one off the board for me, how much on top of Brian Thomas Jr. do you think you can get for Puka Nacua right now? And I think it would probably be like Puka and a 2 for BTJ and 2 1s.
I mean, if you can get that, I would do it. But if it's like Puka and a 2 for BTJ and 1-1, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that. I think the cutoff would be if you got offered BTJ and an early to mid 1 for Puka.
Yeah, I might still hold Puka there, to be honest.
Well, that's why I said more so like Puka and a 2 for BTJ and 2 1s, because like that would be a smash irregardless. I said irregardless in the video.
Irregardless is the worst word in the language of English, because it doesn't mean anything different than regardless.
Well, that's what I mean. So I said that in the video and somebody commented on it. I'm like, buddy, I'm talking for 35 minutes. It's bound to happen at one point, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, if you, I personally would just hold Nacua with this team. But if you can get a monster kind of Godfather offer, somebody's going to give you like maybe the Jamar Chase manager needs the production or something, and they're going to give you Jamar Chase and a 1 for Puka Nacua and a 2 or something like that. I'd be cool making a move in that regard. Maybe somebody's going to give you Malik and a 1 or something for Puka Nacua because they want that extra production. I'd be fine with it, but generally I think I'd be holding. I think Derrick Henry, absolutely a sell. Chris Olave, probably a decent sell high if we get another good week out of him, just target-wise. I think people are bought in. Like you said, Pittman, Tyreek Hill, very easy options to sell if you can get good value for them. Mike Evans, once he's back from injury. Just try and monopolize that 2027 class. Yeah. Even if you wanted to kick it into 2028, you could. Jared Goff and Justin Fields, also more short-term quarterbacks as well. But again, I will say, this is a team that is not necessarily out of it. Like, I don't think this is a team that I look at and I go, yeah, you can't compete with this team. Like, you're 4-2, you have a good record, you have some depth at wide receiver. The only real problem here is that you don't have a lot of depth at running back, because like from a short-term production window standpoint, Nick Chubb is like your third best guy behind Derrick Henry and Devon Achane. So I wouldn't go all in and try and win necessarily, but I also don't think you have to sell immediately. Like if things keep kind of progressing for you, who knows, man? Maybe you luck into another starting running back with Braylon Allen or Ollie Gordon or Ray Davis or one of those guys, Kyle Monungai or something, becomes an option for you. I don't think you have to sell everyone now. If you can get some good value for some players, definitely make some offers, make some trades if you can. But this is not a team where I go, yeah, you got to sell everybody. Like, this is a team that I'm like, this actually like has a chance of competing this year because you have Achane, because you have Nacua, because you have Lamar Jackson, because you have Tyler Warren. Those type of guys are actually positional pillars for you. So it's an interesting question. Like you said, you are trying to go, for the future. So if that's your direction, you feel like that's going to be the most productive for you. You said it's your first year playing Dynasty, so maybe your league mates don't know what picks are valued as well, and you can just easily collect first round picks. Then yes, that's probably the best course of action for you.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, taking advantage of the market, you're going to be able to spot it right away. One of my favorite things when I join a new league is kind of seeing where the market is at. And I mean, I'm sure you agree with this as well. Once you analyze exactly what your thoughts are on the market, you strategize around it. You basically find what is optimal based off the market that you're in. For example, if you're in a bunch of FSC sicko leagues, maybe you're more inclined to maybe want to contend in that type of format. But if you're in with buddies and they're still valuing Derrick Henry as a first round type of asset, like, dude, What would you need to pull in any of our leagues to get a first round pick for Derrick Henry?
Oh, it's impossible to get first round picks in our leagues, man. And like you really do. Like what happens in our dynasty leagues is like unless it's a pillar asset, people are not going to give you first.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many times Jared has offered me a no flocking, like Kyron Williams, Mark Andrews plus for one of my first round picks, and I'm still not doing it. Like, it's just that's the market of the league that we're in. It's like Kyron Williams and Mark Andrews and those guys, I just don't view them as consequential assets. And my team is still young. I don't feel like giving away first round capital.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. I mean, another thing too, like if you put Derrick Henry on the block in one of our leagues, you're probably getting an offer of a 2 and a 3 from a contending team.
Yeah, no, exactly.
For sure.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm just sending him a message to get to the site issues in the Discord. Site issues in our Discord, and they can help you with a refund. Yeah. So for some reason, his card got overcharged. So apologies for that. But we did do your team review anyways, and we really appreciate the support. But hopefully that gets sorted out for you and the devs can handle that from there. And if it's not handled for you, just feel free to reach out to us via email. That is linked down below in the description of this live stream, and we'll help you at that point. But it is not our department. It is the devs and Sammy that handle that stuff.
Reach out to us if there's any concerns, like Corey said. We just want to make sure that you're getting the best experience on the site. Realistically, we don't want you to feel like you are losing out or anything. Like even if we have to lose a little bit on the back end, we will.
Yeah, well, that costs us 5 minutes of our time to do that review anyways. Yeah. Like it's not a big deal. But yeah, also, let's get to the start sit questions and the trade questions and everything. And a quick reminder for anybody that wants a question answered, the link is in the chat right now to skip the line, get your question answered. I think we have, I don't know, roughly 50 questions, even 51 questions right now that are in the line, but we will absolutely get to your question before kickoff. So if you want to submit one, feel free to go ahead and do that. And of course, too, if you just want a quick answer, you just want to see who we have ranked higher, our weekly rankings are up to date. You can just go check which wide receiver of yours we have ranked higher, and that'll give you the answer that you're looking for. So let's get it started off here with Proud Brownie 102. He said he was offered this trade. The calculator says fair. Chase Brown and Marvin Harrison for Amari and Hampton in a one quarterback, 10-team start.
It's exactly fair. It's exactly fair. In a 10-team start 8, though, I'm going with the firepower of Hampton.
I agree. I think I could maybe make an argument that I should move Harrison up a little bit after the resilience he kind of showed in the second half of that game. I could maybe make the argument he's more wide receiver 18 to 20 as opposed to 23 that I have him listed as there before that game started. But yeah, Amari and Hampton also could be on his way to a top 20 asset after this week if he has a monster game against the Giants. So yeah, I think I would slightly lean with Amari and Hampton, assuming you have the depth behind a guy like Amari and Hampton. I mean, you'd be the one making this trade, so I guess you're probably in need of depth. Let me just quickly take a look here. So if he sells Hampton, I mean, I don't think that consequentially will add value to your league. I would rather have Hampton than have to start Kyron every week and Chase Brown be my RB3. So I would roll with
especially when Shakir, Downs, Mooney, they're all available. Like you can just pick them up in the 2 for 2.
Yeah, exactly. Any changes? I also have Brock starting in the super flex. So yeah, Brock Purdy's going to be your second quarterback, and then Mark Andrews versus Tucker Kraft. I'm rolling Tucker. I know Mark Andrews had 2 touchdowns last week, but I'm rolling with Tucker Kraft there.
I mean, the Cowboys can't tackle. I will tell you that for free. When Kenneth Murray is playing the most snaps of your linebackers, and he's going to be covering Tucker Kraft, and Donovan Wilson's going to be covering Tucker Kraft, and Malik Hooker's going to be covering Tucker Kraft, let's just say Tucker Kraft could have some big plays.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have Cortland
our defense
Sutton or Michael Pittman higher? Just out of curiosity.
I have Sutton at wide receiver 14 this week.
Okay, so I'm at 18. I was just curious because Pittman has played really well so far this year. Yeah. I do believe that that Sutton is the better play. He obviously started Trey Benson on Monday or on Thursday as well, so he's kind of down in the matchup, I would imagine, given that Benson only had like 10 points. But yeah, that's how I would set that lineup there, Nico. Moving on to T Man U
real quick
here. What's up?
Caleb Johnson actually getting a couple carries.
There we go. There we go, Caleb. Let's get usable for once in your life.
Dude, how hilarious would it be if Judkins came back from the ashes for Nathan, and then now Caleb Johnson came
I mean, Kenneth Gainwell has 2 touchdowns. I fear the ship has sailed on Caleb Johnson this week.
I know. It's just funny.
So
is that a free Trevion, Henry, Garrett, and Rashid?
Yeah, I don't know what this. He said, think my squad is in good shape for 1 to 2 tier up at wide receiver, and I hope Trey pop off nervous trading Kyron. Okay, so I think he may have messed up this deal.
I got you. What's the username?
TManuF.
Here. He does not show up on our back end.
Okay, so he must not be a code FSE user then. He must be a different code user. Yeah, if you're in the chat right now, TManuF, just let us know maybe what this trade was supposed to be. It sounds like you're saying I'm nervous that Trey Henderson's going to pop off, and you said nervous trading Kyron.
I got him.
So, I mean, you'd be trading for Kyron, I'm assuming, is one of the pieces on this in this deal.
I got it, by the way.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
It was just, when you're on the site tab for too long and you type stuff in, it like you just need to refresh the page sometimes.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to refresh and it showed up.
Okay. But yeah, I would say just resubmit this question because we have no idea what you're talking about here. Generally, I like these three pieces, I believe, are on your roster, and I would like to hold these three pieces. Like Henderson and Rice are good buy lows right now, not sell highs. So if you're buying them, then yes, go make a deal like this because I think they're depressed market value generally. But if you're holding them on your roster, you should definitely keep holding them. But yeah, we sent you a voucher if you want to resubmit that for us because we couldn't really understand what you're asking. Vinny69 here. Keon Coleman, Trevion Henderson, Nick Chubb, Juwan Johnson, or Darnell Mooney. What are you thinking in the flex? I think I probably lean towards, Henderson would be my highest running back of the two. Keon I have over Mooney. I think Juwan Johnson might be the best play here, though.
I was just going to say, we can't count out Juwan Johnson here.
Yeah, Henderson is intriguing, but he's also riskier than Juwan Johnson.
Like median range of outcomes, I would say Juwan Johnson outscores Keon Coleman and Trevion Henderson this week. But Trevion Henderson and Keon Coleman clearly have it. Is it even clearly? Like Juwan Johnson could catch 9 passes and have 2 touchdowns as well. Like I think
I'd go Juwan, man. I think he's probably the best play here. And like Warren's going to be in your tight end spot, so you definitely want to roll with him. And
take Waddle out for
not playing Coleman over Waddle.
Oh, I thought he had a wide receiver in the flex. I was going to put Henderson in the flex. No, I agree.
Yeah, Waddle's a fine play this week too. I think.
No, I thought there was a wide receiver. I thought that was Sutton and not Dobbins for a second because I was going to say I would rather play Henderson than Waddle.
Yeah, that's fair. But we'd roll Juwan Johnson, as crazy as it sounds there. Kess here has Jordan Mason, Drake London for Jacoby Myers. Yeah, this is really easily Jordan Mason and Drake London for me.
Are you trying to pull a fast one in your league, mate?
Yeah, I guess so. Because I would probably do that for Drake London straight up. So getting Jordan Mason on top of that is pretty insane. J-Rod RT has a flex question between Travis Etienne, Travis Kelce, Jerry Jeudy, I would say are probably the decision points for me. I think Etienne's probably the lock here, given the workload that he's seeing. And then it would probably be between Jeudy and Kelce for me. Which direction would you be kind of leaning there?
Probably Kelce in that game environment.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with Worthy back. I think the field stretcher aspect of that. I keep saying this, and eventually it'll come true for the Chiefs offense. Plus, he has Mahomes too, so you have the stack as well.
Yeah. Stack equity. You can't complain.
I guess you don't have another running back, but Swift is kind of coming into the game banged up and already sucks at football to begin with. So,
also, bro, why are the Steelers just like this every year? Where like they're a complete mid team on paper, but always start the year like 3-1 or like 6-2 or like a couple years ago. Remember 11-1 with Chase Claypool doing TikTok
that was an insane fucking team.
It's just like every fucking year these guys like are just gritty. Like they're just gritty. Like
I know, right? The flex rankings are on the site. I can't promise you that. Like I usually only tinker my flex rankings at the beginning of the week. I don't usually continue to tinker them throughout the week. I would say you get a good general feel for like which wide receivers and running backs we'd start over another. But yeah, generally we just focus on the positionals 90% of the time just to make sure that people have those decisions for those, just like a time constraint for us.
For ease sake, what we usually say, if you're in a PPR, you tie break to the wide receiver. If you're in a half or a standard, you tie break to the running back.
Yeah, and like generally I would start a top 45-ish wide receiver over a top like a running back 28 to 35 kind of in my rankings. Like wide receiver ones over RB ones over wide receiver ones, wide receiver twos over RB twos, and then like wide receiver threes over like flex play running backs kind of thing. But we can move on to the next question here from Luna R. Need 2 of these 4 for flex recommendations. So Worthy, Myers, Judkins, and ETN. So the running backs, I have ETN higher. The receivers, I have Myers higher. That's the way that I have it.
You have to start 4 of these, right?
We said 2 of 4. So
need 2 of these 4. Okay, but I see
I'd be cool going with the 2 running backs personally, but I think
I need to get Jacoby Myers in there.
Yeah, Jacoby's would be my highest ranked wide receiver of the 2.
I'm going cool going Jacoby and whatever running back you like here.
Yeah,
they're back to back.
Was the one that I preferred of the 2 of them, given the Lions matchup. They're 10-point underdogs. I think that we're going to come back to earth a little bit as a Browns offense this week, and the Lions might trounce them. So that's kind of where I'm at with those 2. Sam Bam here, trade question: Debo for Jordan Love or Daniel Jones in Superflex. So it's not a 1 quarterback league. It's Jordan Love for Debo in Superflex or Daniel Jones for Debo in Superflex. I'd actually be cool with either one of them, but I would prefer Daniel Jones. Actually, I have Daniel Jones one spot higher. Yeah.
Because I knew you were really high. I'm assuming for Love, it was specifically with the passing volume he's seen recently.
Yeah, it's just not an offense that I think is going to be airing it out a ton, given the Jaden Reed injury and the fact that Jacobs is kind of running hard and they have a good defense. I think Daniel Jones is probably the better option.
I thought I was about to be on an island with this one, so I agree. I have Daniel Jones ranked higher than Love. Ultimately, here with Love, until we see the passing volume go up, he's not going to run the ball a ton.
And essentially here too, I'd be cool with either one of these quarterbacks for what it's worth. In a super flex, I would rather have them than Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe you're not like us and you're a little bit more worried about the long-term appeal of Daniel Jones. Like, who knows if he has a bad game, Anthony Richardson comes in. Like, if Jordan Love had a bad game, they're not subbing him out for Malik Neighbors unless it's a blowout. They're just getting Malik Neighbors 4th quarter reps. Like, there is a real what did I say? Malik Neighbors. I meant Malik. My bad. I meant Malik Willis. But there is the risk. Like, if Daniel Jones, like, he's playing well, and I don't think this will happen, there is still the 20% outcome where, or 20% of an outcome where here he struggles in the first half, they go down big, and they see what Anthony Richardson has. And I mean, Anthony Richardson looks good. I don't think it's going to happen, but like, you don't have that worry with Love, and maybe in a super flex that matters more than in a 1 quarterback league.
Yeah. No.
What do you think? What do you think in terms of job status? Like, does that impact it at all for you if they're back to back?
Not really. Fair. I'm not, dude. I'm not worried about Anthony Richardson taking over at any point during this season.
I agree. I don't think it's a big possibility. I'm just saying, like, there's zero possibility it happens.
That's for sure. I actually think there's zero possibility Anthony Richardson takes over at this point in the season. With how Daniel Jones has played, I just don't think it can happen anymore. And he would have to play like shit for like 4 or 5 games for it to happen.
Yeah.
A-Rich is awful. Like, he is terrible. Bucky Irving, Emeka Egbuka for Chase Brown, George Pickens, and Brian Thomas Jr. This is interesting, man. I think, given the conversation we had earlier, I think you got to go with the higher upside insulated plays here with Bucky Irving and Emeka Egbuka. As much as this is like a completely biased side of mine because it's 2 Buccaneers, I do think that they're the best 2 assets in the deal.
Yeah, I agree here. I would
like Chase Brown, He's one bad game away from being unstartable right now. Like this is not a guy that I really want to be buying into. If you have him, I think he's a hold, but I don't want to be buying low on the guy, especially not for guys like this. Like, if you're going to trade a bench player for him, that's one thing. But yeah, buying on Chase Brown right now where you're getting the running back downgrade, to me just seems like a bad process move.
Yeah, for sure.
Our Collet here, interest from this team on Nico, thoughts, changes. So, and I'm going T-Mac and Rashee Rice and not thinking twice about this.
I'm the Nico guy, and I completely agree.
Yeah, like I can make the argument that, I mean, I do have it. I mean, this is a dynasty question as well.
Yeah,
I have T-Mac over Nico Collins straight up in dynasty.
Yeah, I'm not there, but I do recognize. I mean, like, fucking Rashee Rice.
Why not though? T-Mac is almost producing what he's producing in his first year.
No, he's not.
Nico Collins is producing well, but like, it's not like Nico took that next step into like the elite wide receiver 1 overall upside guy. In my rest of season redraft rankings, Nico Collins is only like a tier ahead of T-Mac.
I mean, outside of week 1, he's been 18.5 points per game. I don't think like that's the
okay. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's not
he's been a 30+
gap to the point that the 27-year-old versus the 22-year-old is where I'm at with dynasty.
In this deal specifically, you take T-Mac and Rashee Rice, but like I'm not worried about Nico at all. He's still wide receiver 8 for me in dynasty.
For sure. Yeah. And I also think within 2 weeks of Rashee Rice being back from his suspension, he might be over Nico in dynasty as well.
Yeah, I mean, he could be. I have Rashee Rice as my wide receiver 13. Yeah, it is funny because the site actually does have T-Mac higher than Nico. I have them in the same tier, so I don't think it's outrageous because, I mean, ultimately you are dealing with a younger asset, but I I think it was a little far fetched to say that they're producing similarly.
Okay, maybe not, but like T-Mac, from like a expected points per game, like the amount of targets he's getting and stuff, it's not that far off of what Nico's doing. It's just that Bryce is not playing super well, and T-Mac's had some plays left on the field or whatever. But you got a 22-year-old produce. This is like his first 3 NFL games, man. Like a 22-year-old receiver producing like this, he's got to be a top 10 dynasty receiver in my opinion. After what he's shown,
this for me is very easy to the left side.
Yeah, Lamb, Hampton, and Worthy. Yeah, I don't think you can go. As much as Chase is great, I mean, I just like, this is just not close. I think you got to go with the Hampton side.
Give it 3 weeks, and CeeDee Lamb's going to be ranked above him anyways. So if you have a situation
RJ Harvey was starting for the Broncos, I might still take the left side.
Yeah. I agree. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, Chase is ranked higher than Lamb right now. But if we get the announcement, Lamb is going to be back in week 7, like as soon as week 7 hits, CeeDee Lamb will be higher than Jamar Chase.
The second CeeDee Lamb is back healthy, and assuming he's playing what he was playing before, then I would prefer him to Chase. It's just a matter of like, if you're like 1 and 2 or something,
1 and 2,
consider Chase as a better asset for the short term.
100%.
I
don't disagree Mitchell with you.
Dynasty for Savion Williams, Ty Felton. I mean, Sure. Well, I don't really care. Neither of these guys are consequential dynasty assets. I would actually prefer Keaton Mitchell slightly because I think he's got more upside if Derrick Henry were to go down. But Savion Williams or Ty Felton, if you really like those guys, by all means, go after them. I just don't think they matter.
Let's hope for a Boswell kick block yet again. Why don't we?
Yeah. Ladd McConkey for Breece Hall.
Very even
the running back. Go ahead. I think they are a complete wash in terms of value.
Yeah, let me see where I have them ranked. I would prefer Ladd McConkey face value, but if you need a running back, I don't think it's outrageous. Like I have Ladd McConkey
mid to late 3rd round redraft picks if we redrafted today.
Yeah, I have them a little bit lower than where you do comparatively. Like I have them 38 and 45.
Okay, so who's higher for you?
Well, I still have Ladd higher.
Okay. So I actually have Breece higher. So I would, and I'm assuming you're only making this deal if you do need a running back, I would imagine. So that's why I'm kind of expecting that's why he'd be making the deal. So if you need a running back, go with Breece Hall. Otherwise, you can hold Ladd McConkey if you don't really need a running back. If it's just a flex decision, I'm fine holding Ladd McConkey there. But anyways, moving into the flex here. Holy cow, dude. Yeah, I mean, as much as there's some good options here, Jamar Chase and AJ Brown need to be in your lineup. Like, I know it's like, oh man, like, Henderson could have a breakout week or Pittman's been really good. It's like, you got to play Jamar Chase and AJ Brown. Like that's just, it's not negotiable in my opinion. And like London and Igbuka are great plays too. So it's not like you have bad options there either.
What were the other options?
The other options were like Scadaboo, Trevion, Pittman. Like
I agree with you.
Just real quick on Hubbard, would you consider playing any of these running backs over Hubbard? Because I do have Hubbard ranked highest, but do you I don't think Scadaboo versus Hubbard is that crazy of a conversation at all, considering he ran like 70% of the routes.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, he had 6 catches, 60 plus receiving yards yesterday.
Yeah, or last week on Sunday night. Baby Chrissy, shout out. We got flex decision between. Lamb and Rice are obviously out of the lineup here. So you're kind of in a position where you need wins, I would assume, given that you're down 2 of your best receivers. Who would you go with in this position? You got Wicks. I actually think Zach Ertz is my number 1 here, to be honest with you. Without Terry McLaurin out here, I think Zach Ertz is probably my number 1.
Yeah, probably.
And
then I'm going Wicks.
Would you go Wicks over Hunter?
I have Wicks in over Hunter in the flock league.
Really? Eh?
I
just want to see it with Hunter in your lineup. I would play Hunter over Wicks personally.
Even despite Wicks, like he played 70% of the snaps last week, it's still more than Hunter's getting, and you're getting a great matchup. I want to see what the role is with Hunter.
I think that's totally fair. I just
think it's a way tougher matchup.
2 bad options. Give me the one who's just a way better player.
Fair, but the 49ers defense is a way better defense than the Cowboys.
Without Nick Bosa now, though?
Maybe, and that's a factor. Like, I hope it's the Hunter breakout week, but to me, it's like Wicks, you're still getting top 3 level wide receiver usage. The Cowboys are a big pass funnel too. They've actually quietly been decent against the run as well, if you've seen. So it's like, to me, if I'm looking at this situation, like I want to be getting Packers receivers into my lineup.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I just think that neither of them are good options, so I would just roll with the upside of Hunter there. But that's totally fair. Also, I don't know if you've noticed that this Ireland game is like a full-on home game for the Steelers, man. Like everybody in Ireland is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I don't know why, but they are.
Well, it makes sense because like they were the home team technically coming in.
No,
right?
they were, but like I didn't realize, like if you look it up, like what's the biggest NFL fan base in Ireland? It is the Steelers, and it's probably why the Steelers got this game, because they knew that the Steelers would be the team that they would want to watch. It's just weird. I don't know what's the connection there. Like why are Irish people such huge fans of the Steelers? Is like Ben Roethlisberger Irish or something?
I'm not sure.
Like you'd think, if anything, I mean, they had a ginger starting in Cincinnati for like 10 years. You'd think they'd be Bengals fans. Spicy Taco said, "Attaboy, Danny Ladd, so proud of you, buddy," with the Hunter slander.
Until we see it. Like I'm not going to be
family. Okay, I heard this narrative as well, but like, what about the Rooney? Is the Rooney family Irish? I guess maybe.
I mean,
that's definitely an Irish name.
I mean, Wayne Rooney is English.
Yeah, it's definitely a UK-ish kind of name there. Gridiron God, NH.
By the way, Corey,
what's up?
I'm curious. Everybody was focused on the preview of how I'm starting Wandale at wide receiver, and nobody batted an eye that Nick was starting Cooper Kupp.
I mean, Cooper Kupp and Wandale are kind of similar plays, and at least
Wandale's been much better.
I mean, he has been, yeah, but like I think because
it's just like
Cooper Kupp, it's not as.
I thought it was funny because everybody brought that up, and it's like face value coming into the week. I had Wandale straight up ranked higher.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
That makes
sense. I didn't know what the connection was. I was like, why the hell are they all Steelers fans? But that makes sense.
I mean, that's why they're the home team now, I guess.
To be fair, though, like aren't like 90% of owners of the NFL teams all just like old white men? There's probably other teams that have Irish owners as well. But full PPR 2 flex choice to swap one of the running backs for Scattaboo. Okay, so this is an interesting trade, man. Lamb for Harvey Bowers. I'm
not doing this.
Judkins and Javonte. Yeah. I mean, he did say choice to swap one of the running backs for Scattaboo. I probably would roll with the 2 running backs you have in there over Scattaboo, but if you really needed wins, I would actually prefer Scattaboo over Javonte, but Wandale to go accept it. Yeah, I think I would stick on the Lamb side of this deal. But this is like reasonably fair, because if Bowers gets back to like producing at a high level, then it's possible he becomes one of the better assets in this deal too.
Sure, but I mean, Kraft is also giving you production, and to me, Quinshon Judkins, RJ Harvey, Javonte Williams, they don't get you in the discussion for CeeDee Lamb. On top of that, Trevon Henderson, I have straight up ranked higher over those guys. So like to me, this is a non-negotiable.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Let's move on to Nico here. Quinn Johnson, London Pickens, Igbuka need to bench 2 of them. Holy cow.
You're benching QJ and Igbuka.
I would not bench Igbuka for Pickens.
I would not bench Pickens for Igbuka.
I mean, Emeka is my wide receiver 13 this week, and
Pickens is my
17.
Pickens is my wide receiver 9.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make the argument that both are really great plays. You could even actually talk me into playing both of them over London with the way that London's played. I
don't think that's outrageous. I don't think that's outrageous. So in my wide receiver rankings this week, I had it London at 8, Pickens at 9, and Emeka at 13. So I have Emeka where you have him ranked. I just think Pickens in a spot where Dak's probably going to have to drop back 70% neutral pass rate, given the Packers are probably going to be.
I think the Packers might hold the Cowboys to like 10 points. Like I just think the Packers defense is so good.
I don't see that. I think we're going to get crushed, but I don't see that. And Pickens is going to get a 25 to 30% target share on a team that's probably going to throw the ball 40 to 45 times.
Yeah, I mean, when he finally actually commands a target share like that, I'll believe it.
I mean, he's had 8 targets in back-to-back weeks.
I know, but I don't know. With him being the number 1 and getting all the attention, I just don't think he can handle it personally. But we'll see. I mean, if you want to go Pickens in London here, I think that's totally reasonable. And Igbuka's got with Godwin probably playing full snaps. Maybe you could argue that he's less of a better play now. But that's close, man. I don't envy that decision, having to sit one of those guys.
Can we get a Vikings comeback just so I can get some cheap Riker points, by the way?
I mean, some people are getting some cheap Hawkinson points right now. Devontae Adams, Cam Scattaboo. Which one are you rolling with? Adams, of course, came the game banged up a little bit, so maybe that's why he's wondering about this.
No concern. Also big pain for Q. He started born. No concern. Sean McVay already said that if Adams plays, he's not going to be on a pitch count. He doesn't believe in a pitch count. He literally said, like, if Adams feels like he's good to go, Adams is going to play normally. That was the quote that we got. I had Adams ranked in my top 12 of my wide receiver rankings, and this is a very concentrated situation. We know what Puka Nacua represents on the other side, but I mean, Devontae Adams is a wide receiver 2 by label, but he's a wide receiver 1 by usage.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And especially the type of usage he's getting, like where the targets are coming on the field. He's getting downfield and red zone type of looks. And those are hella valuable, especially from Stafford.
So Bush, in my home league, I got a little hero running back going. Now, obviously, Jaylen Warren ended up really screwing me over this week. And I'm currently actually trying to negotiate a trade. I'm trying to get Hampton and Tootin for London from Marco just because I need running back help because I have Jeremy McNichols in my starting lineup right now. But aside from that, I have so Daniel Jones, he's been playing well. I've been streaming him because I lost Joe Burrow. But Saquon Barkley, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Roma Dunze, George Pickens, Trey McBride. So let's hopefully get to 3-1.
Yeah, hopefully you can. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to fucking
who scored? Jalen Naylor?
Who is that?
Oh, Xavier Scott.
Oh my god, who the fuck is that
receiving
guy?
Receiving back for the Vikings.
That's horrendous. No one cares about that. I mean, if you bet on the over, maybe you care, but that's about it. Moving on to the next question we got here. James Cook and Devontae Adams from Malik Neighbors. 10 teams start 8 redraft.
I love Malik Neighbors, but this
probably got to be. Yeah.
This is Cook and Adams.
Yeah, I love Neighbors, obviously. You guys know I love Neighbors, but that's a wide receiver 1 and a running back 1, top 6 running back that you're getting.
He didn't get his feet established, I don't think, by the way.
Yeah, his toe look like his heels don't look like they're touching.
But he didn't get full control until the heel touched the white, I think. Did the heel ever touch the white? Isn't that the rule?
I don't think so. I think if he juggled the ball, then he juggled the ball, but I think his heels stay up here. Yeah, his heels stayed up. But if he juggled the ball, then obviously that's not a catch.
Oh yeah, let's get this 2-point conversion so I have a chance at some fucking bullshit points.
Yeah. Braden here, Justin Jefferson versus Ricky Pearsall. I mean, Jefferson's already playing, obviously. And I just realized, unfortunately, if you guys did have players in the Vikings and Steelers game, like we didn't get to these questions on time because we weren't going to stream that early. But I mean, I think it was pretty straightforward who you were starting in those games. Like you were going to start Jefferson, hopefully got Warren out of your lineup in time. You were going to start Metcalf, I would assume, in most cases, but maybe you weren't going to start Metcalf. That obviously sucks if you didn't. Jordan Mason, Ricky Pearsall as the flexes. Again, I probably would have said Jordan Mason. So hopefully you started him. I mean, he's not really having a great game, I don't think. So
I would have said Mason, and my number 2 would have either been Pearsall or Kamara.
Actually, I think I had Kamara ahead of Mason this week.
Yep.
I had Kamara one spot ahead of Mason, so I actually would have went with Kamara, but Mason and him were back to back, so it wouldn't have been really a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Elijah here, Trevion Henderson for George Pickens.
It's fair value.
Feels too rich for me.
I think you have Henderson too low, by the way.
I might, but that feels too rich for me, to be honest. I still think there's a risk on Henderson for him, like maybe not being
I have Pickens
full workhorse at any point during the year.
I have Pickens at 39 overall. I have Henderson at 42. So I take Pickens face value, but like if you needed running back, I don't think this is outrageous.
I think I would just, knowing that Pickens is kind of on the up right now, I would just rather get a guy I feel a lot more confident in his workload than take the risk on Henderson. Like I think Henderson should be low enough in your league mate's mind that you should be able to get him with less appealing players on your own roster.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hockey 91 here has a big trade, 12 team, 1 quarterback, start 8. I think he asked us this last week or something to this effect last week, where these garbage bench pieces, I remember exactly what happened. It was Shipley, Browning, and Demario Douglas. Like, who gives a fuck about any of these guys? Essentially, the nuts and bolts of this trade are Tyreek, Khalil Shakir, and Nick Chubb for Amari and Hampton. Honestly, that's the only thing I really care about in this deal.
Hampton.
Yeah, I think because last week I remember that there was a lot more on this side, and now it's just pretty much Hampton that you're dealing with. And I think, I mean, even though Tyreek and Hampton are only 5 spots apart in my rankings, Shakir and Chubb are just really non-consequential assets for me, and same with Daniel Jones. So I'm totally fine with that.
Yep, for sure.
Tristan here, Justin Herbert over Drake May, right?
I think I do, but let me just confirm. I have Herbert at 7 and May at 8. So yes.
Yeah, I got Herbert at 4 and May at 7. So that's where I'm at with
Oh,
those.
Sorry, correction. They are 6 and 7 because I forgot to remove Jaden Daniels. And I will move Marcus Mariota to Mariota or Tua this week.
I'd rather start Tua. I think that game's going to shoot out.
I think Mariota is going to be in that range though, so I'm going to move him one spot behind Tua.
That's fair.
And like Bryce Young, like would you do him or Bryce Young?
Who? Mariota?
Mariota or Bryce Young?
I would probably start Bryce.
Yeah, they're 23 and 24 for me. Okay.
Okay, flex decision here between Kyron, Sutton, and Olave and Kraft, I guess, too. I think Sutton's got to be in your lineup of that group.
Yeah.
And then
probably Kyron.
Probably Kyron, yeah, is the other one. But Kraft is a great option. I mean, maybe make some consolidation moves.
Who's his tight end?
Bowers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you got to roll with him.
Yep. I think I had Mooney one spot ahead of Tucker this week.
Yeah, I mean, Mooney's definitely playing worse of the two of them, and Tucker's
11
playing
targets
better,
last week.
But I do have Mooney a couple spots higher, so that would be who I would roll with.
Yeah, 11 targets last week. I think that's the process here. Plus, Penix just played such a horrible game. It does feel like a bounce back spot.
I think the Falcons, I think they're 2-point favorites or 2.5-point favorites. I think they're going to cover that easily. I think Commanders are going to get smoked today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the public's or the market's giving so much credit to Marcus Mariota.
I know, and I think it's more just anti-Penix stuff that's happening. But like, I mean, they're at home. It's a better game environment. There's no Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin. Like, they should be able to win that game easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'd roll with there.
I'm low-key pissed that fucking Badaki tried to skumas today.
Yeah. Would you roll with Bo Nix or Daniel Jones today?
Nix.
Yeah, I also would go with Bo Nix as
better
well.
Matchup.
Better, yeah, much better matchup. The Rams defense is much better. Igbuka, Chase, Thomas. I mean, Chase has got to be in there, and Igbuka,
those three are all getting in there.
To me, are got to be in there. And then are you going BTJ or Keenan Allen?
Yeah, BTJ.
Really? You're gonna say Keenan Allen?
I have BTJ in my top 16 this week.
Okay, I have Keenan Allen over Brian Thomas.
Where do you
it's
have
not that
Brian
I don't
Thomas
have BTJ.
Right?
BTJ is my wide receiver 20 this week. I just have Keenan Allen wide receiver 18.
I like Keenan Allen, but I'm not starting him over BTJ.
I'm cool capitulating to that because it sounds like there's a bigger discrepancy. Yeah. But like the way Keenan Allen's been scoring touchdowns and shit, man, it's hard to keep him out of your lineup for sure.
He's wide receiver 23 for me, I believe. So like I don't think it's outrageous. I just have BTJ ranked high.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I like BTJ to bounce back this week, but it's definitely not a guarantee for sure. Keenan Allen's been pretty much a guarantee every week.
You want to know why it's a guarantee?
Why?
Because editor Nick has him.
Yeah. Facts. That was the guarantee. I knew because when Amir took DK Metcalf at 304, 303 in the home league, I was like, dude, that is the worst fucking pick I've seen in the longest time. And I knew the second I said that, I don't actually think it made it into the vlog when I was talking about it, but when I said that, I was like, I know for a fact when I play DK Metcalf, he's catching a 70-yard touchdown. Like it's gonna happen. Like it always does. Like also, like I play Zach this week, who I traded Jameson Williams to, and Jameson Williams is catching a 70-yard touchdown against me, guaranteed.
I guess I'll ask you this because it's funny you mentioned Jameson Williams. I declined this. I think this is too much. But the offer that I got was Amari and Hampton plus JMO for Pickens and Adams. I don't think I can do that, even though I want Hampton because I lost Jaylen Warren. But I don't know. What do you think?
So, you said this is your home league? Sorry.
Yeah.
I got offered. You said that. I thought you said this was in a flock league. I'm like, doesn't fucking JMO and Amari and Hampton on different teams? But Amari and Hampton and JMO, you said?
Yeah, for Pickens and Devontae. I don't think I can do that.
I think I'd rather have Amari and JMO there. That's close, though. F8 Finesser, Malik Neighbors, and Tedero McMillan in exchange for Emeka Egbuka, Trevion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, and Jordan Addison. Is a start 9, so it's a lot more of a deeper lineup setting, but I don't know. What is Neighbors worth here? Neighbors is worth Egbuka plus Judkins, and I'd probably still take Neighbors, and then Tedero McMillan's worth the rest. Yeah, I think you take the right side of this deal.
Yeah, give me the right side.
Evans.
What about this? If the offer was Hampton and Olave for Adams and Pickens.
I would rather have Olave than JMO.
Yeah, I would too. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were the one giving away that side. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
It's not like a trade that I'm like, oh my God, you're smashing
That's
it.
what
Like,
I mean.
It's like a pretty fair trade,
like,
even with JMO too.
And that's what I mean. It's like I have McNichols in the lineup right now. It's like realistically, I either get a running back in Omari and Hampton to play into my lineup and having to play a wide receiver like Parker Washington, or I just roll with McNichols and run it with a London or an Adams this week.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
I'm not pressed.
Yeah. Would you start McNichols over Pacheco, by the way?
I would.
I'm not. I can't now because I'm one player over the roster limit, so I'd have to drop a player to move my lineup around.
And I was literally going to offer you a deal of fab for McNichols, but I genuinely don't know who to fucking drop.
Yeah. No, like I mean, I would probably do it if you wanted to, but if I had a play, if Bill had been out, I would have done it. Because then I would have dropped somebody like and played McNichols. But yeah, I'm like, you know what? What is McNichols going to give me versus Pacheco? It's probably not a significant difference, even if McNichols maybe projects a little bit better now that Bill's banged up. I just prefer the 60% snap share guy for the Chiefs with Worthy back. But if Pacheco has a fucking 4-point game, I'm literally never starting him again. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't have another option though. Realistically, Jeremy McNichols or Isaiah Pacheco, like that's the most disgusting shit I've ever heard in my life. Speaking of McNichols, he's in this question. Are you starting Javonte or Cortland Sutton? I think it's pretty easily Cortland Sutton for me.
Yeah, very easy, Cortland Sutton. Sorry, I was going to see like what can I send you plus $4 fat for McNichols, and then I realized this is currently my bench.
Warren, Hunter, Lamb, Loveland. Yeah, I
look at all the
I don't need another tight end, that's for sure.
Look at all the outs.
Yeah, it's a lot of outs. A lot of oots, as a lot of people would say. We say that word like.
The only time you want a lot of outs is when you're playing poker.
Yes, that's correct. Or when you draft a Mecca Ibuka. Ghoul's Mansion here. Bo Nix over these guys for sure.
This is why you drafted Bo Nix. If he doesn't show up today, then we got some fucking issues.
Yeah. You're going Hampton for sure there. Who would you rank highest of these three running backs? I have Judkins the highest between Chase Brown, Judkins, and Trevion.
Judkins slightly, but that's like all same tier. Also, Jesus Christ, can Pittsburgh score a touchdown here?
Yeah. Neighbors, Ibuka, Worthy, London. I mean, Neighbors and London are going to be in your lineup for sure. Tight end is going to be McBride, and then probably Ibuka over Worthy and Chase Brown for sure. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Next up, we got Jaden Daniels, Godwin, and Laporta for Bowers, Pittman, and Love. I think I want Jaden Daniels, Godwin, and Laporta here.
Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty close. Like the upgrade you're getting at tight end is obviously great. Laporta actually, he seems like he's good, but like Avery was talking shit about my tight ends. He's like, Corey has all these bad tight ends, Pitts, Andrews, and Kincaid. All three of them are outscoring Laporta.
Aaron Rodgers just motioned Mike Tomlin to get the field goal team off the field. So let's hope he lets Aaron Rodgers do his thing. Nope, never mind. Fuck me.
Yeah, I don't think
Aaron Rodgers for it. Go for it, dude.
Oh, he's cheesed. Looks like it at least.
Yeah, I would be too. It's on the 2-yard line. Go for it. You don't get it, then the Vikings have to drive 98 yards.
Yeah, not to mention you're already up 2 possessions anyway. You'd go up 3 possessions if you scored a touchdown.
This would be one of the worst field goal calls I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah, this is softer than baby shit.
Are they staying on the field or are they getting off? I can't tell.
The Vikings use the timeout. I think they'll probably stay on the field here.
Yeah, genuinely speaking, there's no benefit to kicking the field goal because you go up from 2 possessions.
Chat. This is probably what happened.
Oh, well. It's better than Boswell getting a field goal. It's better than Boswell getting a field goal.
Facts. I mean, dude, if Gainwell was about to score a 3rd touchdown, that would have been insane. Dude. That's crazy.
Did they just run gap on 4th and goal at the 3?
They did, yeah. It was close to scoring.
Hey, Bush. Hey, it was. If you
scored
another
half-yard line to start their drive.
Yeah, I mean, can I get a cheap fucking Reichard field goal, bro? They're down 10. Like, it could happen.
Yeah, it could. Back-to-back Cobra here. Top Qs. Best tight end lean to Juwan and flex lean to Scatterbo. Okay, so
I don't know what that says, but we'll
I don't know
answer
what
the
that means,
question.
but yeah, we're gonna go Tyreek
Tyreek.
in that spot. Dalton Kincaid versus
Hey,
Juwan.
by
Who do
the
you
way,
have higher?
Tyreek versus QJ, the fact that that's a question in week 4 and it's actually a close one makes me sick.
Yeah, it is crazy. You got Kincaid or Juwan higher?
Jawan.
I have Kincaid
Until
higher
Jawan
because
doesn't
one team is implied for 31.5 points.
Sure. Until Jawan doesn't get this elite usage, like he's in my lineup, I'm not thinking twice about it.
Where are
Like
they respectively in your rankings?
Let me take a look. Tight end weekly. I have Jawan at 6 and Dalton Kincaid at 7, but I have a tier separation between them.
Okay. I have Kincaid at 6 and Juwan at 8. So
who is at 7 above Jawan, bro?
Which is ironically his other tight end on this team.
You can't, man. I understand Kincaid, but Laporte is just not involved enough to be ranked over what Jawan's getting. Like, Jawan is the best utilized tight end in the NFL right now.
Well, we could still get him into this. We could still get him in here, right here. If you want to start him over QJ or Scatterbo.
I wouldn't do that, but I would start him at tight end because he has 28 targets in 3 games.
Yeah. I mean, Kincaid almost had 3 touchdowns
if you want to go Kincaid,
last week.
Yeah. No, Kincaid's not outrageous. He's one spot behind. But Jawan has been just
Is QJ your answer for this flex? Because it is for me.
Yeah. Also, I'm curious your thoughts specifically on this. In the Ladster League, keep in mind, like I lost guys like CeeDee Lamb. I lost, a couple like depth options on my team, right? And it is a best ball. Okay. So the deal that I ended up making is 2027 second of mine, which is probably going to end up 211 or 212 realistically. You've seen my team, right?
Yep.
It's stacked like Bijan, Gibbs, McCaffrey, Jalen Hurts, or not Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, like unreal. So I sent that late second in 2027, like I said, 211 or 212. I ended up receiving back Keenan Allen, Juwan Johnson, and Brenton Strange in a best ball.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Just bought some point equity.
Yeah, it's kind of like the trade I did in Degeneracy where I traded for Derrick Henry and Juwan.
Well, exactly. It's like, to me, in a best ball setting, I'm perfectly fine making those type of deals. In a lineup setting, I would never fucking make that trade.
Yeah, dude, best ball, like our Debbie Degeneracy League is like a start 12 also. And it's a start 12 best ball. So when you give up like Byshell Tootin and like Debbie depleted picks, and like I'm getting Derrick Henry and Juwan Johnson who are going to hit my lineup like a good majority of the time, I feel good.
Dude, this is the warning I'll send to chat. We need to stop with the spoilers because we are both watching on about 10 to 15 second delays right now.
Yeah, shout out to International DAZN for being on a delay. I mean, here's the bright side though. We don't get kicked off of Red Zone at at the end of it like you guys do. Yeah, I'm going to roll Genty there. I mean, maybe he played Benson already. It's possible he did, but I hope he probably played Genty in his running back spot. Keenan
Did you see
Allen,
the play, by the way?
What's up?
Did you end up seeing the play, by the way?
I did, yeah, and it's not Jalen Naylor. I mean, not the play that I just saw. Maybe Jalen Naylor scores here, potentially.
Oh, maybe. You saw the Addison play, right?
Yeah, 82-yard pass complete to Jordan Addison. Jeez.
Yeah, bro. Fucking
How do you not score on this, man? What a horrible throw.
Oh, Sammy is pissed. Mason just got fucking stopped for a 1-yard loss on the 1-yard line.
That's brutal.
They're going to throw the ball now. It's probably going to be the nailer. It's probably going to be the nailer.
That's terrible.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Egbuka is my second of this group, and then flex would be BTJ and Keenan Allen, right?
Yeah, I would have went with Benson, but because you didn't play him, Keenan Allen's the next highest here. Keenan Allen, top 24 receiver for me this week.
Yeah, I would have even played, even before the game, I would have even played Keenan Allen before Benson.
Naylor just dropped a touchdown.
Oh, maybe that's why he's saying Naylor. Anyways, don't spoil it for us, please.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Also, can we talk about, sorry, real quick, can we talk about Peyton Wilson running back the length of the field to snipe Jordan Addison's ankles from behind on a clear walk-in?
Didn't Peyton Wilson run like a 4.78 or something?
I thought he was fast. No, he had he had some medical concerns, but
he was to be old. That's what his thing was. I thought he was slow. Yeah. He was old. That's what his thing. He was like 25.
Yeah, what did he? I thought he ran in the 4. He ran a 4.43.
Holy shit, he ran faster than Addison.
He ran a fourth. He did. Holy shit.
Florida's 40s.
I realized he ran a 4.43.
That's
fair
crazy.
play,
They
man.
about to have are these guys about to have a GL stand right here?
I'm about to watch fourth down. Hopefully they just take the points. Take the points.
Classic
24-17.
Points. No, you can't take the points here.
You can because I have record in fantasy.
No, you can't. Are you gonna start Godwin or Trey Tucker here? I think I'm going Godwin pretty easily. Knowing that he's gonna play full snaps and stuff, I'd play Godwin here.
You can go Godwin, but
like Trey Tucker is not a good enough option for me to pivot off of that.
Oh, Naylor just scored. Okay, wow. So we watched the whole goal line stand just to see Naylor score now.
Wow. I don't know how we were that behind. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay.
T Manouf said he resubmitted his question.
Yeah, we'll get to it then.
Okay. We'll touch it then. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, we do have to go a little faster. We have, how many questions do we have left right now? We have, because there's more getting submitted. We have like 25 questions, something like that. Brock Purdy, Justin Fields. I'm gonna roll with Fields there, man. I think he's gonna have a great game.
Dan,
I need you to pay attention here.
Sorry, I'm checking my lineups as well.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going then.
Okay, let me take a look. Genty's in the lineup. McMillan's in the lineup. Let me take a look. Okay, now you're not even looking.
Sorry, I didn't know. I thought you meant on the Purdy and Fields question.
Genty and McMillan. Purdy and Fields. Give me Fields.
Yeah, Genty and McMillan as well for me.
And let me go update Fields because he just got announced yesterday.
Yeah, I have him. Where does he? He was QB. He's QB fucking 9 in my rankings this week. I think he's a great play.
Heat. And to be honest, he's going to be QB 10 for me, so I don't think that's outrageous.
Yeah. Trey Benson versus Chase Brown. I want Trey Benson there. I know it was kind of a bad performance from him. Maybe Chase Brown bounces back on Monday night, but I prefer Trey Benson given the way the offense has looked in Cincinnati and the way Chase Brown has looked. Drake London, Rasheed Rice for St. Brown.
London and Rasheed.
I can't do that, man. I can't give away St. Brown.
Dude, London and Rasheed. You're potentially getting wide receiver ones.
That's a great. This is a very gutty trade, man. This is like, if you're comfortable making this risk, the ceiling of this side is insanely high. But
this is the type of move I make every single time.
Let me ask you this. If, let's say, Drake London scores down season this year, he's 16 fantasy points per game. He's wide receiver 16 in fantasy the rest of the year.
Okay.
Rasheed Rice is a back-end wide receiver 1 from the time he comes back till the end of the season. He's wide receiver 10 from that point onward. But St. Brown is a top 3 receiver. Which side wins in the long term?
Sure, but that's exclusively painting the picture that Amon St. Brown continues to absolutely crush,
which I think he will.
The other sides of this deal, but then that's also like thinking that the other side's not going to do anything. Like, to me, that's the only way you lose this deal, and that's about the 20th percentile outcome.
I think that Drake London finishing as a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1 is about what I'd expect. I don't think it's like a low chance. I think him getting a top 5
mid-wide
season would be pretty shocking to me at this point.
You said mid-wide receiver 2. I think there's a difference here.
I said 16 points per game or whatever, wide receiver 16. Yeah. That's like high-end wide receiver 2 production.
Fair. There's also a possibility we see more involvement from JMO moving forward. 13 targets in 3 games isn't great. We do have, for example, maybe the run game starts to get going. We've seen Gibbs kind of not looking like himself. Obviously, Dave Montgomery had the big game. Like, to me, it's like, obviously I love St. Brown rest of season, but we just aren't baking in any negative factor for him, and we're only doing it on the right side. When in actuality, you might be getting 2 wide receiver 1s for the price of 1. Like, that's what it might end up being.
St. Brown fried last week, and Gibbs and Montgomery rushed for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns.
100%. I think St. Brown is a stud. I also don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that either London or Rasheed Rice end up closing the gap on him.
Oh, yeah. That's a gutty trade for sure.
And getting both
that's awesome. Really fun to think about for sure. Travis Etienne, Tony Pollard, Zay Flowers for Tyreek and T. Higgins. I mean, Pollard is something. He's not like nothing, but I think I like Flowers and Etienne.
Zay Flowers side.
Yeah, I think I like Flowers
very easily.
There. It's not very easily. I do think that Tyreek, if he continues to play well, could end up being the best asset in this deal. But as of now, I think you got to go Flowers and Etienne.
Yeah.
Redzilla here, not really in love with any of these thoughts. Okay, so the flex options that he has are pretty much, I think you got to start Hunter here. Nothing else that you got excites me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, unless you're gutty and you say, hey, Ollie Gordon could get goal line usage against the Jets,
Burden
unless you're
maybe
gutty
catches
and you
another
think,
big play or
well,
something
that's what I
like
mean.
that.
Unless you're gutty and you think, hey, Burden played 30% of the snaps and he popped off last week, maybe he gets more in a great game environment. Like, there's outs to the other guys, but ultimately here, I think the best upside path is just trusting the second overall pick to actually get some usage. Like, realistically, and I saw people run away with this quote. People are like, oh my God, Liam Cohn only wants Travis Hunter to be a part-time player because he said in a press conference that Hunter would only play one wide receiver spot. You know what he said, basically, if you just like dumb it down, right?
What?
He said in a predominant 11 personnel scheme, he's only going to play slot. But they run enough 11 personnel where that shouldn't be the worry. The issue here is, I mean, realistically, is he going to lose some of those 11 personnel snaps like he has in the last couple of weeks? Or can he get back to the fact that he was playing 85% of the routes, I think it was in week 1?
Yeah. No, he was.
Like, they want to run 11 personnel.
Yeah, Hunter's just weird, man. He's just hard to figure out right now. And like,
it's so annoying.
Yeah, we got Jason's question here. He says, start Dak or Dart. I would start Dak there. And then of those options, sit Judkins, Olave, Henderson. I would probably sit Henderson there. Knowing that the workload, Henderson. You can't really trust it at this point in time. And it wouldn't shock me if you outscored Judkins this week.
Hey, Spicy, we've been addressing the bad outcomes for Travis Hunter. I'm more so saying like that would be the positive.
I think he's referring to before you weren't, because very often when you and I would talk about Travis Hunter, I was a little bit more worried about Hunter, the median low end range of outcomes, and you were just going to be willing to bet on the ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately speaking here, the issue with Travis Hunter right now is for some reason Trevor Lawrence and his two best wide receivers can't get on the same page, and for some reason we are seeing legitimate Parker Washington snaps.
Yeah, which I don't think anybody expected that to be the reason Hunter wasn't playing well, but the bad outcomes did exist. Yeah. I think that Hunter wasn't going to be a major part of the offense.
And it is fucking annoying when you see like, when he is used sparingly, he's, thrown out a little fucking flat road and he gets 21 yards after the catch. And it's like, Liam Cohn, you fucking see that. You see that he's the only one creating yards after the catch on your team right now, and we're playing him.
I want to see him run a real route. Like, dude, every time he gets the ball, it's a screen pass. Like, let him run a real route, man.
Yeah. It's the most fucking annoying thing ever. That was in reference to Corey talking about no bad outcomes with Amon St. Brown like 5 minutes ago. Oh, okay. So there's a little jab. I like it. I like it.
Team is 3-3 with big injuries. Second first is my own. Or 2 first, 1 my own. Sorry. Okay, so he'd be getting his own first back, and he's essentially trying to tear down to get Godwin 2 1s a second for Odunze is a pretty good return, I think.
Especially knowing those are your own ones, and you can control your own.
One of them's his own.
Like, what's the other one then? Where's that?
The other one, it says early to mid. I don't know whose it is, but it's early to mid for both of them.
I mean, I guess like what situation is your team in? If you're a team that needs to get your own one back,
3-3 with big injuries, basically. So I think what he's thinking is that he maybe tears it down.
I think that's a fair thing. I think that's a fair thing.
Yeah,
to say.
I mean, ETN isn't worth shit, and Odunze on the open market right now, I would say he's worth about 2 early to mid first. I would say that's about his market value, and an early to mid second, and Godwin, who once he's back on the field, you can maybe get an early to mid second for him as well. Are you able to take Godwin out of the trade entirely and get an early to mid second, like another early to mid second on this? Even if it's in 2027, I would probably prefer that. But I mean, if Godwin starts producing like he was producing last year, you'll probably get a 1 for him on the open market at some point. So I think this is a good teardown move if you're looking to do it. I mean, obviously you don't want to sell Odunze if you're a rebuilding team, but given that return, I think it's a pretty good package to move off of him for. This question was, so Chase Brown, Henderson. I mean, Addison maybe would have been in play before the game started. Shakir maybe in play here. I think I lean towards Chase Brown, most likely. Oh, Danny just dropped out here, so I guess I'll just answer this question. I think I lean towards Chase Brown here, given that Henderson is still a little bit of a wild card for his workload. Khalil Shakir, not necessarily a super high upside option. I think I would go with Chase Brown here. This is a close decision, though.
Yeah. Crazy enough, Henderson and him are like back-to-back for me, but I would go with Chase Brown.
They're back-to-back for me as well, but I do have Chase Brown higher.
I have Chase Brown 24, Henderson at 25, so I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, classy here. Other team I play Rice bye week and in division. Okay, I've never played with divisions in fantasy before, but yeah, this is Collins, dude. I get that Rice is a good buy low right now, but this ain't a low buy.
Yeah, this is like, what are we doing here? You're paying his exact market value when he's on the field.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, and you could make the case that Nico straight up. Like, I think when Rice is back, he's going to be in the Nico tier, just because like the Chiefs desperately need him to be. Like, honestly, like, what is stopping from Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball 11, 12 times a game?
I guess the only thing stopping it is that if Worthy just is a revelation for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's what it would need to be. Also, Gainwell just
that
got
seems
stopped.
like a good problem to have, though. If Mahomes has two guys that are that good, that would be a good problem to have for Kansas City, I think.
What do you think the Steelers do here? You just saw the third down, right?
Yeah, that looks like he was about half yard short.
I agree.
Are they punting?
Are they punting? Are they punting?
I don't know. Carson Wentz legacy drive, dude.
There's no use to kick a field goal here.
Can they?
It's on the 41, and if you miss, it's a 58-yarder. They get it at midfield, needing a field goal.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going for it. They're going for it. Okay.
You got to either go for this or try and pin them. Probably.
Delay of game. Oh my God, they're taking the 5-yard penalty and then going back. Oh, that's a Tomlin special.
Oh, I mean, I guess you could try and draw him off,
dude. Every coach does the little hard count on the 41-yard line, takes the free 5-yard penalty, and punts anyway.
Just once, Danny. I want someone to fake the hard count, like, and actually snap the ball.
Yeah, no, literally though.
Like, because you have, like, for what it's worth, if you're gonna fake the hard count, there's not many better quarterbacks to do it than Aaron Rodgers. But like, actually handing the ball off would probably catch them by surprise.
Yo, please give me a Reichard fucking buzzer beater tire. I would do dirty.
I need this game to end because I don't need DK Metcalf getting any more points on me. So I would actually appreciate if the Vikings just straight up won the game with a Jefferson touchdown, or they just stink it up and lose.
It's like that Key and Peele bit. Do you know the Key and Peele bit where it's like the refs, like if they play fantasy football and like they try to like mind fuck their way into random penalties so the play stands? It's like that one guy who's pissed that his kicker got the extra point. It's like, if my kicker gets an extra point here, I don't complain.
Yeah, no, I agree. But, alrighty, so Drake May, Baker Mayfield. I'm rolling with Drake May this week. I don't really love the matchup for Baker, although I do think with Baker having
Wirfs is back, right?
Huh?
Wirfs is back, right?
Yeah, Wirfs and Godwin being back is definitely great for Baker, but it is a challenging matchup for him. And then you're going to go Brian Thomas over Jake Ferguson, right?
Yes. Although BTJ is fun. Did Wentz just throw a pick? Fucking
Wentz is the man.
We can't be spoiling
fucking heater. Did he throw a bomb?
No. He just threw a pick. True. The spoilers in chat weren't fun because I just completely got that ripped from my.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can throw a late out route to Jalen Naylor, you have to do it. Come on, dude. He had the opportunity to do something great. The ginger in Ireland winning the game would have been electric. That would have been great.
What is that throw, man?
That was a shit throw, dude.
That's like a 2010 Brett Favre in the NFC Championship throw.
Literally. Okay, how many more questions do we have? We got to motor a little bit here because I do want to make sure my lineups are set. Bo Nix versus Justin Fields. I'm assuming you have Bo Nix higher.
Yeah.
And then the rest of these, I guess that's what you're doing at wide receiver, and then tight end flex decision. Yeah, I guess you don't really have a choice. You got to start Kyle Pitts there.
I agree. Also, I want to say this. Guys, stop spoiling in chat, but maybe the interception was out.
Oh, yeah, no, he's out of bounds. He's only got 1 foot down.
Okay, guys, no more spoilers. Also, velocity. Velocity, chill the fuck out.
We are doing start sets velocity.
What do you think we're doing, brother?
Okay. Alvin Kamara is going to be in your lineup. Devon Achane is going to be in your lineup. Those are really easy. Wide receiver, you're going to put McMillan and Wilson in. Of the two of them, I think I prefer Wilson, given that McMillan's coming into the game banged up.
Bad matchup too. Gonzalez is back.
Yeah. McMillan's still probably in in this part.
Chase Brown, too much volume. And hear me out, dude.
Josh
Isaiah
Allen.
Isaiah Likely's active today.
He is,
and we got a good game environment.
Best play here without Alec Pierce.
Dude, Josh Downs is the same thing with Travis Hunter.
No, he's not.
You said without Alec Pierce. You do realize he doesn't play on the outside.
He doesn't, but it could factor into Downs playing more on the outside.
No, that's what I'm saying. Downs isn't going to play on the outside.
He might.
They're going to put AD Mitchell there. No, he doesn't play on the outside.
Okay, well, he might in this game. Either way, I still think
Travis Hunter might.
Here. Even if he only plays 70% of the routes here, I still think he's the best play.
Fair. I mean, they're close, but I'm fine with leaning him. But like, I think they're all desperation plays this week.
Kind of, yeah. Ant do it a lot here. Drake May or Caleb Williams. I'm rolling with Caleb Williams there for sure. And then
if you just got here there, I'll save you the time. We're probably not getting to your question unless you put it on the site. If you just got here, I'll save you the time.
I mean, we'll try and get to some questions out of the chat. Let's see if we can motor through and get to some questions for you guys in the chat here. But yeah, you guys also feel free to help each other in the chat if we're not able to get to it. TJ Hawkinson, I imagine, was the start that he went there. I think TJ Hawkinson is probably what you would have went with over Harold Fannin. And then the flex decision here, T Higgins versus, T Higgins is the best option. It's pretty straightforward.
Velocity, you're good. Welcome to the stream. Those are the rules we usually go by. We go on the site first and we try to get whatever we can after.
Yeah, I mean, I can't promise you that we would get to you if we don't get to the site questions, because we do have about 15-ish more and not that much time. But Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, this is an interesting conversation because I think Geno's a really good streamer this week. I actually do have to check my rankings, which one I have higher.
I have Geno pushed up at 17. I still have Dak a little bit higher because I love the volume that we're getting with the offense. Objectively, it is a bad matchup, but they are in a dome. They are at home in this game. I'm still going with Dak Prescott, but this is 15 and 17 through.
It's 15 and 16 for me, so it's back to back for me as well. Amari Hampton and Chuba Hubbard are going to be your running backs there. Wide receivers Malik Neighbors and Drake London.
Igbuka.
And then Igbuka versus Igbuka is very easily the next option there. MVP Radius.
I will say I do like Trey Tucker this week.
He's not bad. I don't know. I'm not super excited about him.
He plays like all the snaps.
Yeah, he does. Caleb Williams versus Bo Nix. You're going Caleb Williams there?
Yes. Caleb Williams, quarterback 4 for me.
Okay, yeah, I figured he would be really high in your rankings. There's a little out of bounds for Carson Wentz to Xavier Scott. Shout out.
We're getting a Will Reichert highlight reel in the middle of the game, by the way.
Drake London versus Emeka. I mean, Drake's going to be your first. Emeka is going to be your second. And then the flex is going to be QJ versus DJ Moore. I lean QJ there, but they're pretty close for me. Do you have QJ over DJ Moore this week?
Correct. QJ, I have 24 or 25, I believe.
Who would have thought, dude, with QJ?
Not me.
Not me. First question to 2025 for AJ here. He said 0-3 for obvious reasons. Please fix, Jesus, my flex, boys. Good luck this week. Jalen Hurts has got to be your quarterback there, as good as Justin Herbert has been.
I just watched the worst play I've ever seen from Carson. Not the worst play I've ever seen from Carson Wentz. Did you just see what happened?
That was some Will Levis shit.
What the fuck is going on? All right, back to the question. Sorry, that just fucking Jacoby Myers.
Yes, Jacoby Myers is going to be one of these, and then Debo is probably the other, I think, right? I mean, there's no real running backs that you're considering here.
Debro,
shout out Debro Samuel. Goodell the God, Bo Nix and DK Metcalf for Josh Allen. Hell no, Josh Allen.
No. Also, Arthur, if that's about the near sack, then that's fine. But if it's anything else, I might strangle you.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Carson Wentz did something else after that.
But that's what it might be, something else, and I might strangle you if it is.
This is an interesting deal. What are your thoughts on this? BTJ and Harvey for Josh Jacobs.
Give me BTJ. This feels like a free roll.
I mean, it does. What is this guy's name? Ass cheek what? Just ass cheeks. One ass cheek something.
Ass cheek spreader. Like
yeah. What is the BTJ team? I mean, yeah. You're doing this, I guess, because you want a running back to go along with Bucky Irving. That's probably the thought process here. You already have Igbuka, Chase, Pickens, Rice. Like, you're pretty good at wide receiver. I'm actually probably fine doing this given the context that Jacobs is a pretty major upgrade to your RB2 slot. And in a start 7, you're going to be playing Rashee Rice as soon as he's back. And for now, you can play George Pickens, who has CeeDee Lamb out. So I'm actually fine making this move, but I do have BTJ a little lower than Danny probably does. So, but given that this is going to upgrade your RB2 from Trevion Henderson to Josh Jacobs, I actually do like this trade.
I don't want to give up Trevion, or I don't want to give up BTJ there. I don't.
Again, BTJ is a bench player for him. So
yeah, I just view him and Jacobs as very close for me.
Right, but one's not a starter. Like you're not starting BTJ over any of his receivers.
Yeah, you can do it. I think this is giving away RJ Harvey. But like, is that the worst thing at this point?
Yeah, I mean, RJ Harvey might be behind Dobbins all year, man. I'm not really that excited about RJ Harvey right now. Like, I think Dobbins might legit hold the job all year.
You know, he could. Also, what is going on in this fucking game? They got a delay of game.
I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Dude, it's Carson Wentz. Like, what?
Yeah. Trey Benson, David Montgomery for Lamar Jackson. Hell no, dude. Lamar Jackson.
All day.
Yeah, that's somebody in need of running backs and trying to fleece you.
Speaking of the fate finesser.
Yeah. Okay. How many more questions do we have? Let me just get an updated number so I know how fast we have to go.
They're going for it? Okay.
I mean, Rashee Rice for Caleb Williams. You're taking Rashee Rice all day there. We have 9 more questions to go. So that one's pretty straightforward. Nothing to argue about. Pollard, Chase Brown, and Henderson. So I would go Chase Brown and Henderson and sit Paul. Yep. Pollard's been shit, man. I know he's getting like the best workload in the league, but holy crap, has he been bad.
Yeah, but Mason will tell you he's a 90% snap share running back.
So. I don't care.
I'm fucking with you.
I know. I know he's 90% snap. Everybody knows that. Like everybody knows he's getting every touch under the sun. But Tajay Spears is back next week, and even on a start-sit question, like it's a terrible game script. The Texans are 7-point favorites.
By the way, Corey, I will say, I couldn't have possibly hoped for better than Boswell and Cup combining for 11.6. There
you go.
Spoiler, but I'm sure you guys could have
where they could have been worse than that.
They could have been, but 11.6 from 2 players, especially Boswell, who's like usually like an automatic 10 plus on his own. Like I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. This one, Godwin and Worthy are probably the 2 I'm going with, I think.
Yeah. What running back?
Worthy for sure. And then I think I would go Godwin over Downs, Hunter. I mean, the tight ends are not a factor. Running back's not a factor. Yeah, you're going Godwin here, I think.
Yeah. Like Bigsby. I'm kidding.
Old Bo 33.
Wide receiver. You're going to go with Igbuka here, actually. So initially, early in the week, I had McMillan higher, but then you get the calf stuff. You get the confirmation that Christian Gonzalez is going to play. He typically would have been, top 15, top 14 in my rankings. I do have him down at 19 this week because of that.
Yeah. Are you going Strange over Okonkwo? Loveland obviously not going to play, so you're probably going to go Strange there.
I almost flexed Strange in the Flock League. I ended up going with Wicks, but I don't mind Strange this week. He's been playing 85+% of the snaps.
Yeah, unfortunate that Old Bo didn't start Metcalf here. Obviously, he's on his bench, but you're going to go T-Mac. I mean, you weren't going to start Metcalf over Odunze, Igbuka, or McMillan. So,
yeah,
I mean, maybe you could have gotten there on McMillan if you were really worried about the injury, but I can't imagine anybody was doing that.
I love Caleb. No.
Yeah, not a chance. Not a chance.
I love both these guys.
Jay Ledge here. Drake May is going to be your quarterback, running back. I mean, Kamara would be you might have started Walker already, but I guess you didn't because you probably would have had that in your lineup since you submitted this question 31 minutes ago.
Shout out Jay Ledge, by the way. So he had another question earlier in this week, and he messaged me on Twitter. So I helped him out too. Because he had one on the Thursday night game.
Yeah, so Walker, I mean, I would have played Walker knowing that you had Camaro to be your flex here. I would have played Walker on Thursday night, but I mean, he didn't have a great game, so I guess it was sharp of you not to play him. Trevion Henderson versus Golden is probably the decision here, and I think I'm going to go Henderson there.
This is running back 25 versus wide receiver 27 for me. I think both have big upside. To me, though, I go with Henderson. You do have the upside that he could be the bell cow. We saw after the fumbles that he did get used like that. And to me, if you get even if it's only a 10th percentile outcome that he is a full-fledged, 80% of the snaps, 20+ touches guy, because that's in the range of outcomes, I have to put him in my lineup here. I love Matthew Golden, but he's not a sure thing to the point where Trevion Henderson, if he hits, will be.
Yeah, no, exactly. Gridiron God, NH, full PPR, need 2 of 3 in the flex. Okay, so 2 of 3 here. I think you go with the receivers probably, Smith and JMO over Henderson.
I go Hendo over JMO personally.
Really,
13 targets in 3 games isn't cutting it for me.
Yeah, I mean, he isn't getting the targets for sure, but as I told you, Danny, I'm
You play
playing
against
JMO and I traded him to Zach. So I would be a fucking fraud if I didn't tell you JMO's going off against me, and he absolutely will. So I would put JMO in there because I know for a fact this guy's catching a 70-yard bomb today. If you guys want
How about this
free
then?
betting advice, bet Jameson Williams 100 plus and a touch, and it'll probably be like a fucking 10-1 odds or something. And I guarantee it's going to happen because I traded Zach Jameson Williams in the flock league.
So I would want to get one of the running backs in the lineup. That's my intake. That's my input on it. But yeah, do what you gotta do.
It's your intake.
Intake. Shout out T-Man, by the way. He said this earlier. So he sent the side he was giving up. This is the side, or sorry, he sent the side that he's giving up. And to me, I'm looking at it.
I think I want Pickens and Buka and Kyron.
I just think right now, given like the trajectory of value those guys are on, like you feels like the side that you're getting is the buy low side, but you're paying like where we would value them. To me, like you can get better value on this right now.
I mean, by my rankings, I would definitely prefer this side. It would depend where your team is at. If you're in a position where you can take some risk on, I think this is a very, very good side to go after for sure.
Well, Corey, that's what I mean. I like this side like from our valuation, but I think given the current market, you can get a better deal than this. Like Emeka Egbuka and Garrett Wilson on the market probably about evened out, especially with the Evans news. Kyron Williams right now to me is going to have a much better market value than Trevion Henderson. Even though I personally got into my head, I had to draft one rest season. I would prefer Henderson. Right now, the market value is favoring Kyron. And same thing with Pickens Rasheed. I think people are understanding that Rasheed's going to be a hammer, but I think people are also acknowledging that without CeeDee Lamb, Pickens might be, a top 8, top 12 level wide receiver. So to me, I just think you should get a little bit more insulation knowing you're taking on more risk.
Yeah. Also,
we got to speed. Yep.
Yeah, we only have like 2 more questions. I just saw that did the Pittsburgh Steelers run the tush push with Darnell Washington? Because that might be the most broken play in football if they did.
Did they?
They ran it with a tight end. I don't know if it was Jonnu or Darnell Washington, but Darnell Washington running the tush push is electric.
Yeah, no, he is.
The guy's a fucking unit.
He's a hoss of a man.
Yeah. Okay, so Wilson just traded Love, Debo, Charbonnet for Herb and Rashee Rice. I mean, yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal, man. Rashee Rice essentially for Debo and Charbonnet, and I actually would much prefer Justin Herbert too.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess Justin Herbert will be in your lineup once the trade goes through. And Debo will not be in your lineup. So I guess we got to help him set his lineup without these players in here. David Montgomery is going to be one of your flexes for sure. But now that Debo's not on your team anymore, you're probably rolling with Alec, I would imagine, as the second.
Yeah, I would roll with Alec. Who do you get in exchange for Debo?
Rashee Rice, who's not playing.
Okay, yeah, put Alec in.
Yeah, I think I'd roll with those guys. And then Charbonnet obviously wasn't usable.
Also, Bush, this is karma for this fucking guy offering him for Jaden Daniels. But Docky didn't even start Gainwell.
That's funny.
That's fucking karma.
Who is he going to play him over, though?
No, I know. But I'm just saying.
I wish I had picked up Gainwell and started him over Pacheco, but I would have had to drop 2 players, so I didn't want to do it.
That's just me being salty because I was literally overpaying him, gift wrapping him Jaden Daniels for Benson. And then the offer I get the next day is RJ Harvey for Daniels. And then now Gainwell for Daniels.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, we could rip the underdog picks really quick, and then we'll probably sign off of here. Unfortunately, we didn't get to many chat questions today, but we'll rip the underdog picks really quick because I want to set my lineups before kickoff. Sunday Night Football, if you guys are doing picks for this, the Micah Parsons revenge game, I like Javonte to go lower than 12.5 for his longest rush. Packers allowing the 3rd least running back rushing yards this year, and Javonte, he's been splitting carries a little bit more and more with Miles Sanders. So I don't really, and there's some offensive linemen missing for the Cowboys too. So I don't really love him to break off a long one there. Jalen Tolbert higher than 27.5 receiving yards. Pretty straightforward. CeeDee Lamb's out 89% of the routes last week for Tolbert. And then Jordan Love higher than 6.5 rushing yards. In 2023, he averaged 14.5 per game. This year he's averaging 11.5 per game. Last year he was below this, but he was dealing with a knee injury most of the year. So I don't think he was running very much as a result. So if you guys are playing Sunday Night Football, that is the picks that I am rolling with. Danny, if you want to roll through yours, go nuts.
Yep. So this is the one I did on the wide receiver video. Pretty simple to me. Puka Nacua has been higher than 7.5 in each game this year. Devontae Adams entering banged up. I mean, Puka Nacua just feels like a locked in 12 plus targets in this game environment. My wide receiver 1 this week. Roma Dunze, I have all the way up at wide receiver 3. This is a very pass funnel Raiders defense that are actually very, very good against the run. Bottom 6 against the pass. This is a sneaky good game environment as well. Very, very good game environment. Neither team can get stops on either end. And I also think the Raiders, for what it's worth, are going to be able to drive the ball in that Bears defense. Without their top 3 or 4 corners, I think this could be a shootout. Roma Dunze higher than 62.5. He's the alpha of this team. I alluded to Matthew Golden. I think this is the breakout spot, 84% of the routes last week, and a Cowboys secondary that, quite frankly, hasn't had a chance to guard anybody this year. I mean, we've watched them week in, week out, getting folded by Roma Dunze in press coverage. Shout out Trayvon Diggs. We love Matthew Golden. Then Jamar Chase, very tough matchup. Shadow coverage from Pat Surtain. Very, very low implied total for the Bengals. I just think it could be a summary of kind of what we saw last week, where the Vikings defense was aggressive, kind of held them back. And I'm getting bad vibes about this Bengals offense. Sorry. That was a long-winded answer. We're about 2 hours and 15 minutes into the stream, so apologies for that. But talked about in the wide receiver video, and I was a little bit more enthusiastic. But with that being said, flex entry, you had the Dak gimme pick, $10 to win 100 potentially.
Yeah, and as you just made reference to there is a Dak gimme pick tonight for the Cowboys revenge game versus Micah Parsons. So if you guys check your underdog pick'em lobbies, you should have that. There's actually a ton of promos in week 4 in general. There was a 50% profit boost on the Dublin game before. There's a gimme pick tonight, and there's a gimme pick tomorrow night. And underdog upped their promo. Before it was play $5, get $50 in bonus funds. Now it is get $100 in bonus funds. So for those of you guys that are new to Underdog, you can sign up using the promo code FSE, get up to $1,000 in bonus funds on your first deposit. But then once you actually make your first play, you'll get that bonus as well. So tons of promos going on over there. And of course, if you guys need to see the picks for the Sunday night game, if you're gonna worry about that later or whatever, it's on our TikTok, it's on the YouTube Shorts, on the Instagram, so you can see that throughout the day.
Yeah, I was quickly going to go through the ones that I did this morning. This came out at about 2 a.m., by the way. Make sure if you guys woke up early, it would have already showed up to your feeds. But Amari Hampton higher than 71.5 rushing yards. Giants defense that has been destroyed by gap runners. I mentioned Javonte Williams. Very good match for Omar. Trevion Henderson, we just mentioned. We think he's going to get his most work this week. Correct, Corey?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And then Christian McCaffrey, he hasn't gotten lower than 50 receiving yards in any game this year. He runs 82% of the 49ers routes, and he has a 30% seasonal target share. Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, they both missed practice this week. There's a real possibility we see another, 13 target type of game for McCaffrey.
It's crazy that he has a 30% target share at running back, and Devon Achane has a 27% target share at running back as well.
How is McCaffrey's pick'em only at 46.5 receiving yards? He's literally gone higher each game, and he has 27 targets this year.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's brutal. Anybody who's got to play Sal while Christian McCaffrey is healthy, just RIP to you.
Yeah. Thank goodness I play him later in the season. Maybe I have a hope by then because my team's healthy.
Yeah, no, literally. Thankfully, the next time I play him will be in week 14 when Christian McCaffrey's on bye. So whether he's hurt or not, I won't be playing against him.
You said you saw that before you picked your rival, right?
I did. Yeah, I did. So before the season began, we were picking our rivals. I knew Nathan was going to be my second rival because we actually have a little bit of we go back and forth on takes and stuff. So I knew he was going to be my second rival. Obviously, another rival had to be you because we're channel partners. Yeah. And then we're picking our third rival. It was between Zach and Sal, and I looked ahead to the schedule, who they had in week 14, and I saw that McCaffrey was on bye for Sal. So I'm like, oh yeah. Plus Sal did the whole sorry Corey thing last year. So I was like, that makes sense.
So full transparency, I was going to do the same thing. So if you picked Zach, I was going to pick Sal and vice versa. And part of the strategy is a young Tedero McMillan is on bye week in week 14.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. But I was like, I think McCaffrey's a bigger deal. So
See, and people might be saying, well, that's cheese. And it's like, dude, strategy. And people had the opportunity to pick their own rivals. And guess what? I'm going to pick the guy that's at a disadvantage in week 14.
Well, there was also only a few options left for us anyways. Like we didn't have the opportunity to pick from the whole group because I couldn't pick you. I couldn't pick Nathan. I think Avery had already picked somebody and Mason had already picked somebody. So it was literally either Zach or Sal for me. And also I don't have any history with Zach being a rival of mine in the league. And Sal, the tiebreaker was that he had Xavier Worthy kind of screw me last year and he named his team Sorry Corey and stuff. So I was like, there's something there for sure. So anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Good luck this week. Hopefully you win your matchups. Hopefully DK Metcalf's 30 bomb doesn't absolutely screw me in my home league because I do not want to drop to 1-3. And I have Bijan and Puka now. So I'm going to have a very fun Sunday. So hopefully you guys take your W's. And again, if you want those Sunday night picks, check them out on TikTok, YouTube, Shorts, and Instagram. Peace out. We'll talk to you soon.